We started here on Thursday Night Motorsport, the day before Australia Day, the 25th of January. The only correlation that Week 1 and Week 10 have is they precede a public holiday. We go into Good Friday tomorrow. It's Championship Thursday. It's Championship night. Grand Final week reaches its climax, its crescendo, its conclusion, with a 6-race program for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport like it's never been done in 2024 before. 3 races for the Vs, 3 for the Porsches. The first 3, the main course from Phillip Island, the Grand Prix circuit in Victoria. We've had a fascination, a fixation with Victoria this week, if you like. And then, of course, on to the Interlargos circuit, back-to-back nights in Brazil, in South America for the Porsche finale showdown. Good evening, everybody. I'm Zach Caban. Alongside me tonight, we've got Daniel Correa and Greg Heaney. I'm delighted to report that Greg Heaney's actually in the sim rig tonight. So he's not just in the office, he's out there in the thick of it. And we will hopefully have a chance to check in with him at the end of race 2 as we normally do. That's usually the first chance we get to draw breath in Formula V with thanks to Spreyton Cider, especially when it's here. 4.445 kilometre circuit and anti-clockwise the direction. We're looking at 65% humidity. We're looking at 10:45 in the morning. Circuit time, Eastern Daylight Time, 18 kilometre an hour wind, 20 degrees the ambient, and 65% humidity. Already 25 degrees on track and clear skies. Unfortunately, Tempest weather system hasn't graced Formula V with its presence just yet. However, it need not, because the action here is more than enough without adding water, as we've seen so many times in the past. John Merritt's just about got it done, ladies and gentlemen. He leads this championship by 103 points going into the grand finale. He should wrap it up in race 1, all being fair and equal. He is on pole position at the moment by 0.13 of a second. Adam Lavis second, 5:30, has second wrapped up. Phil King third on 413. Needs to fend off Sam Chapman tonight. 404, 385 for Matt Schmidt-Gig. Joe Baldwin, 362, only 3 points back for Tony Baker, 359 and 332 for Kevin Henderson. Brendan Neal on 308 and Pete Matson 291 make up the top 10. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport, from the gateway to hypothermia. This is going to be an absolute beauty. Daniel Correa, welcome to you. Cars about to line up on the grid. Heat 1, let's do it. John Merritt to start from pole position. Sam Chapman alongside him. David Basgron, Ted Aberdell, Adam Lavis, Kevin Henderson, Matt Schmidtke and Adam Proctor make up the first 4 rows. Wayne Visit, Greg Heaney from row 5. Good work from Greg to get himself in the top 10 there on the in the qualifying run. Over the page we go. The service ticked over to 10:55 in the morning. Joe Baldwin, Tony Baker from 6, Phil King, Colin Bennett from 7, Brendan Neal on, Luke Turner from 8, Michael Lader, Greg Padgett from 9, Corey Horder, and also Aidan Schultz from 10. From 11, we've got nobody, it would seem, only Chris Stark. So Starkey from row 11 all on his lonesome. Thursday night NRL underway in about half an hour. Thursday night AFL already underway at the Gabba. The Lions up against the Magpies. We'll bring you score updates throughout the course of the evening. We're getting ready to fire the first of 6 races on the program tonight for you, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Daniel Correa, I wanted 1,000 on the grid for Formula V at the Island. I just love what these guys provide and produce in terms of a spectacle and entertainment around this place in these cars. Unfortunately, it's only 20, but that'll be more than enough for enough excitement for us.
Yeah, sure will, Zach. Like we say many times, Phillip Island always does deliver. And now that we've got the Formula Vs here for 3 exciting races, we should be in for a cracker. I feel like 1,000 might be too much. 950 is probably the sweet spot there, but you get what you're given.
Ready to fire. The 28th race of the campaign for Formula V, Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport, the first for the grand finale. Beautiful start from John Merritt. Are you surprised? Bolts clear of Sam Chapman and Co on the run down towards the first corner. Look at Chapman, one of your forts, the issue as they head down towards 2 and corner for the first time. 2 and 3 wide further back in the pack, but Merritt's got the jump. cleanly. David Baz there in third. Adam Lavis up on the outside, trying to get by Cedo around the outside of the southern loop. Nicely done. Chapman wants to force the issue with Merritt, but has to be careful because he's vulnerable to Baz on the inside. And Baz, last time we saw him, he had more hits than Elvis, but it wasn't in Formula V. He cannot afford to run these things the way he does the tin tops. Through they go. They run down to Miller Corner. It's clean so far.
We spoke too soon.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Who was that? Ruining the fun. Brendan Nealon, maybe.
Oh my Lord!
Up and over goes Luke Turner. He's taken Wayne Visser with him. Carnage at Miller Corner. The entrance, the apex, and the exit. Let's have a look at this. Tony Baker was the first one to come into trouble. Actually, no, he wasn't. He got cleaned up. Got cleaned up. And whatever happened beyond that was separate. It was an isolated incident. Watch Luke Turner here. Uh-oh. Riding and up and over and sent.
I still... Oh, I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah, not bad for the somersault finish. And the smooth landing as well. Landed on all fours. Very nicely done. So... just trying to pick apart who the hell that was. I think it was either Adam Proctor or Chris Stark, one of the locked-up SimSport entries that got into trouble there in the first place on the approach to Miller Corner that set off that carnage. And it's unfortunately separated the top 8 from the rest of the pack. So the top 8 separated by bugger all as they crossed the line. Look at that 3. About to be 4 wide. Brendan Nealon forcing the issue. Look at the 8 at the front. This is going to be awesome. So turn 1 they go. Cedo's got himself down the outside. Baz going with him. Chapman's there as well. Hold your breath. You cannot afford to flinch or twitch through here. Making their way out of the southern loop on the run up towards Stoner Corner, then to Miller Corner. Lap 2, we suspect 5-6 laps potentially here in this opening race. Remember, race 1, 10 minutes, races 2 and 3, 15. We'll only get 8 laps out of those two. As Cedo wants to try his hand at leading here on the inside of John Merritt. Job done. And unfortunately, Greg Heaney's off the road. Heaney rejoins down in 14th. We go on board with Joe Baldwin into the back of Adam Lavis. That was close. Too close for comfort. Baldwin's lost all the momentum. If he can stay in the tow, he'll get back in the train by the time they get to the end of the main straight. It's important for Lavis, Schmidtke and Baldwin to latch onto these 5 when they get back to the main straight. The tow here is immense. Up over the Lukey Heights. Kevin Henderson in 5th spot at the moment. You're riding on board with him. Thanks to Spreyton Cider. Tread Lavis watching on.
Oh,
David Baz! There you go. David Baz and John Merritt have come together.
Oh, they're stuck.
They were stuck. But that's exactly what I spoke about earlier, wasn't it? No disrespect to David Baz, but he has... it's almost as though the car next to him is the magnet. And he's the metal, the detector. Fair dinkum. Down the main straight. So John Merritt, David Baz to pit lane. That's unfortunate for both men. Out of contention here. Watch the charge back through the field from Merritt in races 2 and 3. That will be well worth keeping an eye on. To turn 1 we go. It's a race in 7 at the front now. Adam Lavis wants to lead it. Joe Baldwin and Kevin Henderson hopefully going with him. Joe Baldwin's at the back of the train here. Hendo down on the inside to go to second. In behind them, Glenn Cedar, Riddell and Phil King. Have a look at this. You don't want to lead this onto the main straight on the last lap, I don't think. There's potential to be outdragged by the line.
Yeah, it's
down they go.
Too far down it's too far down. There's too much distance between the end of the final corner and the line, so you're probably better off to sit behind, but also considering how wide... Adam just gets a little bit of a little blink there. But considering also how wide that main straight is in comparison to the length of the V's, I fully expect to see 3, possibly 4 across the line at the same time, depending on how close they get towards that final lap.
Through the hay shed, up towards Lukey Heights once more. We ride on board with Matt Schmidtke. He's just sitting there content and patiently at the moment, isn't he?
He is. He is. There's no real reason to have to push so early. You know, they're only halfway through, or just over halfway, and so you know what kind of speed you get when you're in the draft. So it kind of makes sense to just take it fairly easy until you get down to that, you know, that hammer down lap. When we get to around, let's say they're doing 1:58, so once you get to that 8-minute mark, I suppose.
4 wide down the main straight, 5 wide even if you don't mind. They were 5 wide at a point. Have a look at that around the outside. Chapo to the lead. Hendo pushing him through. Tito Riddell out dragging the one of them. Phil King right up there on the inside of Adam Lavis as well. He'll be on the outside, hanging tough around the southern loop. Phil King on a charge up to third. Edged out by Henderson on the exit of the southern loop. It's a race in 7. Joe Baldwin now the one sitting content at the back of the train. Just waiting for it to all blow up in front of him. Waiting for the seas to part. Moses-esque. We'll get as many biblical references in as we can tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Give you It's Good Friday tomorrow. We'll do our best. Through we go. Have a look at that.
Oh, they're going to get it!
No. There they go. Kevin Anderson, Sam Chapman, gone. Off the road to the left-hand side. They're out of it. Hendo got back going, I think, but Chapo is down in 13th place. Hendo's back in 6th. But Chapo is gone. Unlucky. Oh, boy. You just never know with this caper. You just never know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Too tight.
Yeah, it's unlucky
Squeeze
there.
him.
Unlucky there.
Really
oh, look
unlucky.
at him boot it. He kept the boot in.
Look at the commitment from Hendo to stay on the toe. Stay on the train. Well done. But now, that has made this a 9-pack, a 9-deep group. See what I mean? Hendo's got Proctor and Stark and Nealon coming, and if they can latch back on and get the toe from Schmidtke here, they might be too far back. We'll wait and see. Is it white flag in the air this time by? No, it shouldn't be, because we're going to get back to the line with mere seconds on the clock. So no white flag. We're going to go around again. And therefore, lap 6 will be the final one, and a fair chunk of overtime to go with that. Phil King going to the lead down on the inside. Baldwin around the outside to lead this thing. All that patience and perseverance is paying off for Joe Baldwin. Down the inside of Phil King. Cito looking to go with him on the inside of King to the southern loop to get the run, and the toe from Baldwin down the back straight towards Honda Corner, now known as Miller Corner, of course. We're right on board with Matt Schmidtke. Have a look at Sarah
That's
King, absolutely loving this, because Phil's right there on the outside, down to 4. Hung out to dry. Lavis coming back up on the inside. Got him. Lavis is right there now when it matters. Matt Schmidtke, we're riding on board with him. He's got the best seat in the house. It's a race in 5 and then a race in 4. We'll do our best to stay across it for you on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. This is one of the best races we've seen in Formula V at the island, and we've seen so much drama and excitement all in one. Poor old Chapo biting the dust. Poor old John Merritt getting caught up with David Baz. So much drama here. And it's still a race in 5 at the front, and it's not over yet. Out of 10 for the penultimate time. Oh, that was close for Joe Baldwin, almost flirting with the limits there. The track limits, and almost getting himself crossed up. On the exit of 10, we ride on board with Matt Schmidtke. Have a look at Glenn Cito holding on there. Phil King bobbling through the corner, and Joe Baldwin on his outside. They're all going to hug to the inside of the racetrack now. Baldwin's got Lavis coming down to his inside. Phil King's there as well, getting across to cover them all off. And is that white or checker? It looks like the white.
That's
We're
a
good to
white
race. Excellent. Let's go. Lap 6 into overtime. Phil King's going to lead them at turn 1. It was a little bit off-putting just because the flag was waving so close to the camera, I couldn't pick it up. Matt Schmidtke, good to see I got my numbers right though, unlike last night. Matt Schmidtke in 5th place there at the moment. Have a look at this. Phil King is the leader. Adam Lavis and Glenn Settle are side by side. Joe Baldwin's tucked in behind. Adam Lavis goes for second on the outside down towards 3. Cito's going to get boxed out of this, I think, potentially, because he's got the 2 teammates swamping. Looming large. Cito goes deep to try and displace Phil King, but King's driving a very nice race here at the moment. They can't find a way by him just yet. Maybe they're luring him into a false sense of security. Maybe they don't want to get past him just yet. Maybe they're setting up the gang job. Phil King on the run down the main straight to gang up on him and swamp him. We'll wait and see. It's a race in 5. They're 2.3 seconds clear of Proctor, Stark, Henderson and Nealon. We'll get that photo finish for you in just a moment. Forget about anybody else. Sam Chapman's dropped down to 17th, Greg Heaney 18th, John Merritt's fought back to 14th. Everybody is still running. Everyone that started, all 21, still running. That's a good sign going into race 2. Phil King leads with 2 corners to go. Cito's right there. Can he keep the winning streak alive for the Echuca Toyota Pulse Tuning Setup? Or is Phil King about to go to victory lane in Formula V? Let's wait and see. The run to the line. Lavis jumps out of the toe, tries to get a run. Baldwin not keen to go with him. Cito pulls out. King's going to lead this all the way, except for the last 15 metres, I think. Cito gangs up on him, got him. Cito and Lavis gobbled up King. He finishes 3rd. Baldwin in 4th, and Schmidtke holds on for 5th. 0.13 of a second covered the top 4. 0.29 covered the 5. How good was that? That sets the standard for what's to come tonight. That's why we call Formula V the main course of the Thursday night. That is as good as you will see. Unlucky Phil King, but by gee, it's hard to hold the lead off the final turn here at Phillip Island. Phenomenal from the entire field in the opening race of the night. If they keep that up, someone might have to take over for me when we get to the Porsches. Exceptional. Proctor held on for 6th, held off Stark, Henderson and Nealon. Aidan Schultz 10th, and will get the invert. And Chris Stark joins me in the central commentary position very quickly. Starky, what happened?
I just come to check on your blood pressure. At the qualifying, I actually clicked the ready to race button thinking it was request a new car. So I had to start 21st, but to 7th, I'm happy with that.
Your teammates got caught up in a little bit of garbage early on, but they recovered okay.
Oh yeah, me and Proctor decided to work together. We thought we had a couple more laps, we'd be able to get up with the lead pack, but then the white flag came up, so we just had to keep Hendo, who had a bit of damage behind us, and Brendan Nail on. What a great race. I'm surprised that you're still breathing, Zach.
Oh no, I'm only just taking deep breaths now, mate, because someone's come in to pick up the freight and do the talking for me. Oh, magnificent stuff. More of that, please, in the next 2 races. So you'll be starting from 4th for this one. We're looking forward to that. We'll let you go and focus on that, and we'll check in afterwards, hey?
Oh, well, I can't be sad. 21st to 7th, I'm pretty happy.
That's a very good performance, mate. We didn't even get a chance to check in who the biggest gainers and losers were. You were definitely one of the bigger gainers in all of that. Go well in this second race. Aidan Schultz getting the invert. Brendan Nealon alongside him. Cameron Henderson, Chris Stark, Adam Proctor, Matt Schmidtke, Joe Baldwin, Phil King, Adam Lavis and Glenn Settle. Watch for John Merritt from 14th as well. Lights out, away we go. Great start through the middle from Aidan Schultz. My apologies, from Adam Proctor and Chris Stark. A great start from the Quantum boys. And locked up as well. So locked up, SimSport trying to go to the inside to turn 1. Have a look at Starkey leading into the first corner. Well, he was happy about 21st to 7th. He'll be delighted with 4th to 1st. That was phenomenal from Stark. Even more impressive that everyone except David Baz has got through the first 2 corners. Baz is off the road again. It's like the off-track, the grass, the gravel, and the walls have got a magnet attached to David Baz's car at the moment, and they're just luring him in that direction. Oh!
I think that's Visser.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. It's Wayne Visser and Kevin Henderson. Hendo involved in that as well. Starkey's going to continue to lead them. So the locked up boys are 1 and 2. Proctor got through nicely from 5th to 2nd. He followed his teammate through, who went from 4th to 1st. Nealon and Schultz 3rd and 4th. Schmidtke, Lavis, Riddell, Chapman up to 7th. Merritt already up 5 spots to 9th as well. We ride on board with his teammate Cito. Great start for Chris Stark, of course, as they head towards the top of the hill. 8 laps ahead of us here, ladies and gentlemen. They'll be just as exhilarating as the first race of 6 laps was, I'm sure. Off goes Paget, off goes Turner. Forget about them. They're dropping like flies. What the hell was that? Adam Lavis getting muscled out of it, hung out to dry. Merritt pushing through, pushing Cito all the way. They've swamped on Nealon, their teammate. They've gobbled up Schmidtke. Stark and Proctor have got breathing space on this pack to the tune of 1.5 seconds. 4 wide behind them. It's the 2 Pulse boys and Adam Lavis and Nat Schmidtke. Does Phil King want a piece of that to send it 5 wide? No, he can't get there. Someone's going after. Yeah, gone! Glenn Cito and Matt Schmidtke and Joe Baldwin hit the dust at turn 1.
Oh, Phil King!
Oh, Phil King now getting crossed up. Did he get collected by Brendan Nealon or Tony Baker on the way through? It sent him backwards. He's now down behind Greg Heaney. They are dropping like flies here. And this is working beautifully for both John Merritt and Chris Stark and Adam Proctor. Stark and Proctor have got a 1 second advantage. John Merritt slowly but surely reeling them in. And unfortunately, 4 into 1 does not go. We have gone 5 wide to turn 1 in Formula V before. We couldn't do it tonight.
Yeah, so he's been hit by Baker as they came through.
He did well to get back on the racetrack, but he's now down in 13th position. And that's always the way. These invert races, they are so fraught with danger. We've seen it so many times before. No real surprise. 3.5 minutes gone of a 15-minute affair. John Merritt's right there. Sam Chapman's gone with him. Locked up SimSports 1, 2 and 4. Pulse Tuning 3 and 5. Aussie racer of Adam Laver sitting 7th. Pulse Tuning's Brendan Nealon sitting 8th. All the Pulse boys except Luke Turner and Glenn Cito in the top 10 at the moment. Cito back in 15th. Turner down the order in position number 17. Greg Paget appears to be parked up and out of business, unfortunately. 3 wide down the main straight. Watch the old experienced hand, John Merritt, show him how it's done. He's going to the lead on the inside at turn 1. Have a look at Chapo gobbling them up on the outside as well. He wants to force the issue and go right on the outside at John Merritt. And is that Proctor or Stark? And Starkey pushing him through. Have a look at this. We ride on board with Tony Baker, who's right in the thick of this now. Embroiled in the drama, embroiled in the fight, and making a race of it as well. David Baz and Wayne Visser off the road behind them. Baker's running out of road there on the run down to Stoner Court. In fact, he's off the road, he's on the ripple strips. Down the outside, Merritt goes deep. Chapman goes with him. Chapo opening the door potentially for one of his teammates, Stark and Proctor, to get their way through. Adam Wavers has nowhere to go. Baker's there as well. It's Pulse versus Locked Up versus Aussie racer at the moment. Bennett's back in the fight as well. Nealon's about to latch on. It's going to be a race in 8 here. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport Formula V, race 2 of 3, 29th of the season. And it's producing one of the instant classics, no doubt about that. Up to the top of Lukey Heights and down once more. This is awesome. Great work down the inside there. Baker in 4th. Oh no, up goes John Merritt again. Horwell's come unstuck a second time in consecutive races. The same point of the circuit. Wow. AstroTurf, that is so uncharacteristic for John. Just not meant to be his night. Still a race in 7 at the front. Heaney's got Merritt for company, 8th and 9th at the moment. They won't catch this mob from there. Tony Baker to the inside to lead at the island. Baker on the inside. He's got Colin Bennett raging up on the outside. Look through the middle. 4 wide on the run to the southern loop. That's surely not going to work. They sorted out 3 wide through there. That's better. Although, to be fair, it's still insane. But that's what you'd expect. That's what you've come to expect, and you know Formula V will deliver for you on a Thursday night. Our final one of the term. We're back off course on the 15th of April, which means the first edition of Thursday Night Motorsport for the term will be the 18th of April. I will unfortunately miss Anzac today, but we cannot wait for Formula V first up on a Thursday night in 3 weeks' time. Adam Lavis 5th place at the moment. I still think John Merritt's got the championship wrapped up. I don't think they can take that off him. Just a quick intervention here. Half-time, quarter-time rather, from the Gabba. Collingwood on a march. 5-3-33 lead Brisbane 1-3-9. And you can watch that on the screens of 7. The NRL tonight, Rooster and Panther, underway. We'll have updates throughout the evening for you. Lap 4, half-race distance this time by the line. I like Phillip Island. We always do a little bit of overtime here. Tony Baker. And he leads the way. We get the chance to draw breath. I don't want to crow too soon here, ladies and gentlemen, but John Merritt has reeled in Colin Bennett. He's now only 3.9 seconds off the trail of the tail of this train of 7 at the front. So if anything untoward happens for them, Merritt's going to be back in this fight very, very shortly. There they are coming down the main straight. Watch them. At the back. They're 5 seconds off the leader, but they're only 3 seconds off the train. What the hell's going on here? Contact on the main straight. Tony Baker's been boxed out of it. 3 wide to turn 1. It's Proctor, it's Chapman, it's Stark, and Stark's leading the way. Baker got hung out to dry, literally. Caught mowing the grass. David Baz back to 17th now and off the track again. Joe Baldwin fighting his way back through with Luke Turner at the moment. They're back 14th, 15th and 16th. Corey Horner leading that battle pack at the moment. And John Merritt is now only 4 seconds off this train. So can he reel that in 4 laps? It'd be a hell of an effort if he could. Baker back up the outside of Proctor. Now trying to find a way by Stark. Stark trying to push and poke his teammate Sam Chapman along, who leads the way to Siberia for the 5th time. 9 minutes gone, 6 minutes to go, 3 laps at the line. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport. All guns blazing, all action, all drama from the island. We like it this way. Rip, tear, rush, bust. Hard to keep up with it. Hard to find an opportunity to draw breath, really. Now, watch this. The top 5 are starting to lose Brendan Nealon and Colin Bennett. They'll get left behind if they're not careful. Nealon nearly finding the grass on the exit of 10. Round they come. 9.5 gone. 3 laps to go at the line. Chapman, Stark, Proctor, Baker, Lavis, Nealon, Bennett. Then Merritt, Heaney, Henderson and King. Schultz, Riddell, Baldwin and Turner the top 15. Down the main straight they go. Lavis, have a look at him. Starkey to the inside. Chapman's going to get hung out to dry. Proctor goes through as well. Chapman's going to run 3rd to turn 1. If he can hang tough around the outside, maybe put himself on the inside. No. He gets back across to go through the middle and try and keep Adam Lavis at bay. Baker there as well. Forget about Bennett and Nealon. They've been left behind. And then beyond that, John Merritt, Greg Heaney fighting over 8th and 9th now. And you can just about forget about them rejoining the train there. They're 3.7 off Nealon and Bennett. Proctor, this is now a race in 5. What about Tony Baker just quietly up 16 spots in this race? So if you thought Starkey's 14 positions was impressive in race 1, and it was, Tony Baker in an invert situation has gone up 16. Magnificent. Baz and Vizza on pit road at the moment, and out of the race is Greg Padgett. So we're down to 20 when we get to the start of the third race in just a few moments' time. Is this the night where John Merritt goes winless? Cito, of course, getting the better of the field in race 1. He's unfortunately down 2 spots in this race. It's a lottery card, this one. It's like trying to predict the bingo numbers. Who's going to be on top? It's like a restrictor plate race in NASCAR. Anyone is a chance. And they're about to come back to the line and get 2 laps to go. Chris Stark, that blinder of a start, and he's pretty much led from the front all the way, Daniel Correa. So with the exception of a little bit of niggle and jiggle and hustle and bustle from his teammates.
Yeah, this... whoa, Sam Chapman is going so close to the pit wall. Trying to... Oh, he touches it.
It's in the wall. Chapman's in the wall.
Now, hopefully that hasn't...
How the hell's he kept the bird into it?
Yeah, hopefully he hasn't damaged that car. It's giving me Barrichello and Schumacher vibes, obviously, but he didn't actually have someone forcing him there. Sam Chapman just decided, well, nobody's here, I might take this spot. It doesn't seem as though there's any damage, so play on.
Was it Ross Chastain who rode the wall?
Oh, yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh,
it was
yes.
like a Ross Chastain type moment.
Watermelon
My
Man.
goodness.
The Melon Man.
Absolutely. 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 on the run down through Stoner Corner. 4 wide on the approach to Honda. That's not going to work. They sorted out. Oh, Cito was a little bit deep. Sorry, Baker, I should say. Baker was a little bit deep getting into the corner.
So that little gaggle has actually allowed Bennett and Nealon to come under that 1 second mark. So we might actually have a 7-car fight. I think there's not enough time for John Merritt to be able to bring that gap back. But for sure, I think there's going to be 7 to the line next time by.
One chance for me to take a breath before we get stuck into another last lap Triller Formula V style. How about it? Taluki Heights, the penultimate time. Have a look at him. Logjam, congestion, 2x2. Slipstream, draft, tandem. Dance partner gone! Baker got into the side of Adam Proctor. And Adam Lavis got caught up in that as well. Baker and Proctor are gone. What were we saying about it being 7 potentially?
Yeah, I spoke
it's
to
still 7. It's just not the 7 we anticipated.
So it looks like Baker.
Oh dear, have a look at this.
So there was that came across, and then everybody's touched into everybody.
What about the save from Adam Lavis? What about the save from Adam Lavis? Could have been in the grass with everybody else, is not. White flag in the air, one more time around, let's go! Chapman holding on to the lead. Bennett and Stark there. Bennett has come from nowhere to be second, and might lead it on the exit of 1, he will! Stark's pushing him through. 3 wide on the run to the southern loop. Chapman's hung out to dry. Baker's still in there. As actually Brendan Nealon it is now. Brendan Nealon has lapped back onto this fight. Came back with Bennett and is 4th. Merritt and Lavis are coming. Merritt is back to 5th. Another recovery mission from Hot Lap, and he's going to be right there, waiting to seek redemption in the 3rd and final one in a few moments' time. Down to Miller Corner. Stark on the inside, Chapman the outside. Wouldn't it be a great story for Chris Stark to get the job done here? Chapman will have something to say about that. There'll be no multi-21 garbage on the run to the finish line. They just don't want to let Colin Bennett and Brendan Nealon get through. Merritt's closing in as well. Lavis is right there. It's a race in 6 as they head through the hayshed for the last time. Another grandstand finish on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We really hope you're enjoying it wherever you're tuning in all around Australia, across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube for an Easter Thursday. Up to Lukey Heights for the final time, and Merritt trying to sandwich his way through. He's playing his teammate Brendan Nealon out to dry. Merritt's down there on the inside. Watch Hot Lap in the run to the line. Colin Bennett still holding on here. Chris Stark and Sam Chapman right there. Stark around the outside. Pick a lane, boys. Bennett's holding on to the inside. You don't want to be leading this thing when you get back to the straight. Phil King learned that the halfway last time round. Yeah, no thing is setting. Stark's time with Merritt. Stark and Merritt gone. Contact on the run down the main straight. Sam Chapman right around the outside to get the job done on Colin Bennett. 0.07. A career first win in Formula V on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club by 700ths of a second. Adam Lavis in for third. From nowhere. 15 positions gained for Chapman, 13 for Bennett, 6 for Adam Lavis. Brendan Nealon came home fourth. Phil King, after ending up in trouble on the opening lap, back to fifth place. Kevin Henderson sixth, Chris Stark seventh, Adam Proctor, Tony Baker, Glenn Cito and John Merritt. What might have been for Hot Lap and Starkey, really. There's the defining moment. 3 into 1 did not go. They ended up in the grass. Stark got the better end of that stick because Merritt had to turn himself around. Trent Lavis pointing out the bleeding obvious. Yes, he is having a very similar Trent Lavis-esque top night, mate. Oh dear. What drama. What excitement. How good's Formula V? You gotta love it.
That was that was an insane race. And the other thing to keep in mind too is we've still got one more. That was only 2 of 3. So
they are the championship standings as they stood coming into the night, mate. If we can have a look at the race results from race 2, let's do that just to pick it all apart one more time. Sam Chapman, now, so our screen was saying Bennett got the better of Lavis. The timing at Daniel Correa-Saar's end says that Lavis got the better of Bennett by 0.002 of a second. Colin Bennett can't buy luck tonight. Brendan Nealon, Phil King, Kevin Henderson, Chris Stark, Adam Proctor, Tony Baker, Glenn Riddell and John Merritt. And 12th place Greg Heaney, who I'm going to have a chat to in just a moment if I can. Because, let's be perfectly honest, any one of that 12 could win this third race. That's how good Formula V's going at the moment. My goodness gracious me. We do this on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club with thanks to the great people scrolling across the bottom of your screen, who this season wouldn't have been doable without Waste Options, Spreyton Cider, Player One Sim Gear, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia and Flash Graphics. Greg Heaney, if I can grab a couple of words from you, mate, that'd be great because we're just about to line up on the grid for race 3. You're not in the thick of it, but you are in the thick of it in a matter of speaking.
Yeah, very much so. I just need to learn to control the throttle and the brakes a little bit better, and then I won't keep pointing in the wrong direction. Great couple of laps there. Definitely some hairy moments coming into some of the corners. I can say, however, with the chat between drivers, the powers that be have pulled down the mute hammer for everybody. It's rather heated in here at the moment. But I'm going to leave it at that.
I love it.
The boys can sort it out later. But definitely. I know I'm not in the thick of it. I'm here just to turn some laps and have a bit of fun. But it's definitely interesting.
Fun is the operative word, Greg.
Yes, most definitely.
What are your expectations for race 3, mate?
Anything better than where I start.
All right. Well, you're starting 12th. Let's hope you can push forward from there. Go well.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
We'll let him mute himself once more and get ready to race here again. Sam Chapman and Adam Lavis the front row. Colin Bennett, Brendan Nealon the second. Phil King, Kevin Henderson the third. Chris Stark, Adam Proctor the fourth. Tony Baker, Glenn Riddell the fifth. It's a wild card, sort of lopsided, upended, inverted, bloody grid, this one. There are all-stars right throughout. This is going to be fantastic. John Merritt, Greg Heaney, the sixth row. Joe Baldwin, Corey Hoyter, the second, seventh. Luke Turner, Matt Schnittke, the eighth. Michael Ladder, Aidan Schultz, the ninth. David Baz and Wayne Visser, the 10th. Forget about Greg Padgett. He's parked up for the night. Not sure Joe Baldwin and Tony Baker are taking the start. Tony Baker, Joe Baldwin, they do slot into position. The grid is set. The 30th and final race of the turn. Spreyton Cider, Formula V on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club from the island. They're gone. Great start from Sam Chapman, converted beautifully off the line. Lavis will go with him. They've left Bennett and Nealon behind, but look at the logjam as they run down to turn 1 for the first time of 8. They were 3 and 4 wide further back, deeper into the pack, but they just want to get through the first corner cleanly. The fireworks have already been let off once or twice tonight. We're certain that there's more where that came from in the next 15, 16 minutes here. Chapman leads to the southern loop. Oh, no. Phil King caught up as well. Greg Heaney, Luke Turner, Tony Baker all gone. Carnage at turn 2. Doesn't affect what's going on up front because thankfully for us, all those guys carted off to the outside, to the far right, rather than getting caught up in the middle of the track and causing congestion and a roadblock. So, yes, it does eliminate a couple of contenders. namely Phil King, Tony Baker and Greg Heaney. Luke Turner just can't buy luck tonight. Everybody else still in the fight.
Oh, there goes
Oh, no, not anymore. There goes Starkey. Well, he had his chance, then got tangled up with John, and now, unfortunately, can't buy luck. Greg Heaney's also had another off-track excursion, so we put the kid to death on Greg. We put the mocker on him, having said that he was trying to find clear real estate and push forward and finish better than where he started. I don't think that's possible at this point in time. Up to the top of Lukey Heights and down. Colin Bennett down on the inside of Kevin Henderson. Henderson forcing the issue around the outside. We'll have the inside for the next corner and got him. Here comes Brendan Neal on John Merritt and Glenn Riddell as well. Aidan Schultz now showing off the road. Bennett's flying wide at 11. Bennett comes back onto the track. How did they miss him? How did they miss Bennett? If he can get back up to speed and latch back onto Adam Proctor, we'll still have a race in 8 at the front. Let's go down the main straight first time. 7 laps to go. Adam Lavis to the lead on the inside of Chapman on the run down to turn 1. Everybody else was staying line astern to that point, but now Adam Proctor wants to make a game of it down the inside of John Merritt and Glenn Riddell. Merritt moved across to cover off Proctor. Lavis leads. Rare air and territory for Adam Lavis tonight thus far. Hendo there in third. Watch Hendo. He's had a win here at the Island before. Impact racing quite like this. How good. We knew grand final night wouldn't disappoint. We've loved what we've seen thus far. Good luck to the Porsches matching this level of intensity, let me tell you. Down the inside to turn 4. Adam Lavis holding on for the moment. Chapman there on the inside, fending off Henderson, keeping him at bay. John Merritt's the dark horse here. The man on a mission with a point to prove. He wants at least one good result tonight. He's had an absolute shocker by his standards. But that's how close and tight the race has been. And Daniel Correa-Sarr, if I can bring you in here just so I can draw breath for a moment. The interesting thing about Formula V is 9 times out of 10 they'll race like this, but we're just having one of those nights where they've just got a little bit too close for comfort and the wheels have started banging, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, well, the chaos really did start. The start of the second race was very tame, and then it started to build up in intensity as we got closer and closer to the finish. Whereas in this one, chaos kicked off almost immediately. But as we resolve it now, Sam Chapman is in the lead of this race with Adam Lavis close behind, and it is a very, very close train all the way to P7. That is Brendan Nealon at the back there. Then we've got a 2.45 second gap to Colin Bennett there in P8. David Baz with about the same time in P9. Joe Baldwin rounds out that top 10. So as they come down this main straight, you can see there's 3 wide there. Kevin Henderson almost thought about trying to occupy the gap that's there. He can do it, and he did. I've channeled it. As well as
look at Hendo.
Here we go. Oh, and he gets a pass on too. Sam Chapman falls in behind, and it looks like he might even take the lead, and he has.
He has indeed. Hendo to the lead on the inside of turn 2. The outside of 1, the inside of 2, the up and under on one of the best in the business, John Holtlapp Merritt, who will wrap up another Formula V title tonight. Chapman Lavis with Alan Proctor. The only ones left standing in this fight. Brendan Nealon makes it 7. And off track goes Joe Baldwin and Wayne Visser again. So it's a race in 7 at the front. Forget about just about everybody else. Good battle pack forming up behind Michael Ladder, Matt Schmidtke, David Baz and Corey Horder. That's about the only other thing worth keeping an eye on at the moment. Joe Baldwin's on pit road. Greg Heaney's been there for a little bit, but he's got back out on the racetrack. He is a fair chunk of a lap down at the moment. He hasn't been lapped yet, but he's well and truly out of contention, just out there getting laps now, and I don't think there's much fun when you're doing it on your own, but I'll get him to verify that for you in about 10 minutes' time. We're at the 5 1/4 minute mark of this final race of the term. Right inside the Thursday Night Motorsport, Formula V rocking and rolling for you from the island. It's as intense as it's been all season, right here and now. Merritt leads them to MG one more time. Through turn 11, we're riding on board with Adam Lavis. Cito and also Proctor and Nealon in close tow, line astern, 1-on-1 at the moment. No 2 or 3 wide pack racing just yet. That'll come a little bit later on in the piece. It feels as though it's warming up to that point. It's been tame for the most part, but maybe this is where that changes. The trigger has been pulled. 3 wide for Chapman and Hendo and Merritt. And here comes Lavis wedging through the middle to try and make it 4. No, he's content to just poke along and help Chapman take the lead to turn 1. Wow, look at that. Glencino wanted to make it 4 wide on the run to turn 1. He slots into 4th ahead of Lavis, who ended up getting hung out to dry and all of that. He's got Adam Proctor for company and Brendan Nealon as well. Another 3 races where this one came for you, ladies and gentlemen. They might be a little bit tame in comparison. It's the Spreyton side of Porsche Cup finale. Race 1 getting underway, top of the hour, 9 Eastern Daylight Time on the platforms of the GSRC. Right around Australia, or indeed the world tonight. Easter Thursday, like it's never been done before. Down the inside to Miller Corner. John Merritt wants to go back to the lead. Chapman says, no, not just yet, hot lap. But then runs it wide and gives it to him. Hands it to him on an Easter Good Friday platter, if you don't mind. Chapman back now, 4th in the queue. And he's got pressure looming large on the outside from Proctor. Behind him is Lavis, and then, of course, Nealon. Still a race in 7 at the front. But this one, not as much wheel banging. It's been a little bit cleaner. Maybe tempers flaring has helped actually ease and calm things down on the racetrack a little bit. And people are well and truly aware of the fact that these are not going to be won on laps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, but on lap 8. Merritt pushing Henderson along at the moment. Hendo will not want to lead this thing last corner, last lap, let me tell you. The leader off the final corner twice so far tonight has been pipped at the post. And there's been drama aplenty here. They're just easing into it at the moment, boys. The fireworks have been let off early, but there you go, the pulse, boys. Hendo to the inside. Proctor's got nowhere to go except far right. Far right. Hugging the inside of the racetrack. 5 wide again at the island in Spreyton side of Formula V as Chapman goes right around the outside. He might be second in all of this if he can get ahead of Cito on the run up towards the southern loop. No. Cito has been outdone by Hendo, and Merritt's out there hung out to dry on the outside, sitting 5th at the moment. Adam Proctor leads at the island. Clear air for one of the greats of Formula V. Merritt on the inside goes to 3rd. Joe Baldwin's joined us in central commentary. We'll hear from Trucker in just a moment. A disappointing early exit for Joe. In the meantime, cannot take your eyes off this, ladies and gentlemen. Merritt down the inside. Hendo there in 3rd. Cito holding down 4th. Lavis back to 5th. Having led this only a couple of laps ago. A lot of chopping and changing going on, but no wheel banging just yet. Out of Siberia. This is lap 5 of 8, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading towards a dramatic and very exciting and exhilarating conclusion to the season. We've had 2 absolute nail-biting thrillers already tonight. Let's make it a hat-trick. Up over Lukey Heights, Brendan Nealon in 7th. Probably just playing the same game that the likes of Stark and Baldwin were earlier in the night, just waiting for chaos to erupt ahead of them and then be the beneficiary. Let the seas part if you like. He hasn't really immersed himself within this fight just yet. Happy to sit back and wait for his moment. And sometimes that's the best plan of attack in this caper. Joe Baldwin, welcome, unlucky.
Very unlucky. Reminds me of a great Meatloaf song. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but I ended up with 1 out of 3. So.
Indeed you did. Have a look at this. Adam Lavis. Are they going to go 5 wide again? They're 3 at the moment. Now they're 4. Now they're 5. Oh, Lavis denies us 5 wide. He tucks back in, hangs right across to the inside to protect the line and cover off Chapman. Chapman and Proctor muscled out of it, boxed out of it. Back to 5th and 6th they go. Adam Lavis is 4th. He'll be 5th at the exit of the southern loop, I think, because Proctor might get the run on the inside. No, he's able to hang tough. Lavis hangs tough. It is a tremendous battle pack, this top 7. We've got 3 laps to go. Spreyton side of Formula V delivering the goods from the island. 3 wide, look at that! On the run through, Stoner corner to Miller. You don't often see that in any category, let alone Formula V. 3 wide and 2 rows deep. And again, Brendan Nealon just waiting there patiently. Lavis now back to 5th. Chapman trying to get a run around the outside. He's right on board with Merritt, leading Hendo by bare millimetres and inches at the moment. Hendo wants to go to the inside of the hay shed. Can't quite get it done. Or can he? Can he sweep around the outside at the Lukey Heights? Have a look at Hendo forcing the issue here. Up around the outside at Lukey to put himself on the inside for MG. No, he tucks back in. Merritt leads a car length and barely that to Hendo. And then another one of the Pulse boys in Glencedo. The Pulse boys are everywhere here at the moment, so too the locked up boys. 3 Pulses, 2 locked ups, an Aussie racer and the privateer of Hendo. That's some of the heavyweights of Formula V right there on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps to go. Hendo leads at the line.
Oh, the spin
Here
from
comes Cito
Chapman!
right around the outside. Chapman wants to go 4 wide and make it work to his advantage and will do so, but he's got to worry about Cito on the inside. Chapman right around the outside. Can't get it done. Merritt's right there pushing him through. Merritt's just looking for clear real estate. He's looking for a gap to squeeze through. Can't find one at the moment. There is nowhere to go. And Lavis all of a sudden back in 6th place. We'll come back to Joe Baldwin set himself out. He'll come back in a moment. We'll have a chat to Trucker. There's no doubt about that. He's just struggling to get a word in here, and I think everybody else in the commentary box feels the same way at the moment. But then again, as I've put on my bio, I get paid to talk. Chapman paint job on his car has been on the floor from Caroline King. We'll get a better look at that when we've got time. At the moment, we're just focusing on the bare inches separating the 7 cars at the moment. The narrow gaps on the racetrack. There it is. Have a look at that. Looks like almost a patchwork quilt. It's very good, though. It's very nicely done. Through the hay shed and to Lukey Heights for the penultimate time. When they get back to the line, the white flag will be in the air. But who's going to win it is anybody's guess. What can Brendan Nealon do from 7th? He's been hanging there for 5 laps, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a race since 7 pretty much from the outset. Lavis couldn't quite get through on the inside of Chapman, and then has made himself vulnerable to Nealon. They've lost ground here, that pair, as they come round onto the main straight. White flag in the air, last lap of the term in Spreyton side of Formula V. Let's do it at the island. Down the main straight. They're 2, they're 3, they're 4 wide now. Hendo on the second car from the grass as we were looking at it. There he is, squeezing through, displacing Riddell and Merritt. Hendo's going to lead it at turn 1. Have a look at that on the inside though. John Merritt forcing the issue. Trying to muscle him out. Can Merritt lead this at the southern loop? No, Hendo gets across and covers up the line. They were 4 wide again down the main straight. That's been common practice tonight. Proctor, 4th in the fight at the moment. Chapman hanging there in 5th. Someone's going to have to make their move very quickly here or they're going to miss out. They're going to miss the boat. Cito and Merritt there, 2nd and 3rd, hovering all over the back of Hendo like a cheap suit. Merritt to the inside. Can't get it done. Hendo doing a beautiful job of holding on here, but he's running a little bit wide on the exit of 4, trying to set himself up for 5. He made it work. He's still leading this thing, Hendo. Riddell down the inside trying to cover up Proctor, but Proctor around the outside wants to go to 3rd. Hasn't been able to pull that off. Chapman, oh, he has now.
Oh, the touch.
Has now. He got the run. He got the run out of Siberia. Proctor's going to 3rd. Chapman's going to 4th. Riddell's been left behind. Lavis is there with nowhere to go, and so too Brendan Nealon. Just hanging in there with the best seat in the house at the moment. Up to Lukey Heights, final time. Down on the brakes, hard to MG. Hendo sweeps around the outside, leads them out of MG. The 2 Pulse boys, you can just sense them planning their tactics, planning their move, and look at Adam Lavis just making way for himself and saying, excuse me, Adam Proctor, I'm coming through. Last turn. Checkered flag, can Hendo hold on, or will it be 3 times tonight that we've seen the leader lose the lead and the run to the line? Let's have a look. Down the main straight. Hendo hugging the inside line. Hendo hugging the inside line. Riddell's got it. Riddell's got it. 5 wide in the fight for 3rd. 5 wide across the line.
comes King.
Get out of town!
I think King's got Baker at the end. He does. Well done.
Kingy's got 11. Kingy got 11. What about that? Glenn Cena, Riddell edges out. Kevin Henderson and John Merritt. 0.06 the winning margin. 0.08 covered the top three. Proctor and Lavis, there was nothing in that. Chapman was only 0.02 off Lavis and Neron. Photos all around. Have a look at this. We're right on board with Sam Chapman. Sixth in the fight, but they were 5 wide across the line. There's your new cover photos to whoever's running the GSRC broadcast page. Have a look at this. This was superb. Insane. Down the inside. Chapo again riding the wall. 6th. 5 wide at the post. We'll need clarification from the scorers because sometimes that timing screen has a little bit of a heart attack, much like we do here in Central Commentary, when the V's finish as closely as that. 0.26 of a second, the margin covering 1st through 7th. We've never seen one as close as that. I've called enough of these things on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club over the course of time since they dropped the Formula V car on the server all that time ago to know that that's the closest top 7 we have ever had in a race here in Formula V. And to do it at the Island and to do it with 3 grandstand finishes like that, you've already got your value for money, your bang for buck tonight before the Porsches even start. There it is. So Riddell, Hendo, Merritt, Proctor, and Adam Lavis within 0.15 of a second of each other. A little small bumper back to Chapman and then Nealon. 0.254 the margin covering the 7. That is insane.
Man, what a cracker last lap for the Formula Vs. And again, for all of you watching at home, I'm sure you already know this, but that's not even the end of the night. We've still got Porsche to come from Interlargos, but let's stay focused here on the Vs. Of all the races, I'd have to say that was probably the most chaotic towards the end, but I must tip my hat because, unlike race 2, there was no contact or no serious contact between anyone to the line. It was nice and clean, and ultimately Riddell ended up getting the best of them.
Oh boy. Wow. I'm somewhat struggling to catch my breath after that. That's as wild as we've ever seen. That is as good as we've ever seen. And poor old Hendo, they had to be an unlucky loser in all of that. Speaking of unlucky, Greg Heaney, that's 3rd race. Unfortunately, if the night had ended at race 2, you would have been relatively happy.
Yeah, oh look, that was my own doing. Probably I downshifted through the southern loop where I probably shouldn't have. Should have held it in 4th and just let it roll through, but unfortunate. But hey, I'm only here to have a little bit of fun. I'll hang around to watch the stream for the Porsches. I'm actually not in that one, so I'll hang around.
You're more than welcome to, mate. Absolutely. It's been great to have you on board for Grand Final week. Hey, just while I think of it, must have been so much more peaceful in race 3 with everybody being muted.
No, the comms were turned back on to at the start when everybody was gridden up. That was switched back on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too much in case I get a whack from the powers that be.
Fair
but
enough. Yep.
It was interesting. I'll leave it at that.
All right, mate. Hang tight. We'll come back to you in a moment. Sam Chapman, one hell of a night for you. I mean, in the end, a win in race 2, according to our scoreboard here. I mean, you managed to grab the drag and the run to the line. Race 1, I don't know what you want to make of that. Race 3, unlucky. 6th in a race where the top 7 were covered by a quarter of a second, which is just insane. Some of the cleanest racing and some of the best racing we've seen all season right there at the very end, but the first 2 races left a little bit to be desired. Your take on all of that, please?
Yeah, I think there was some boisterousness. That finish in the final race, like what a brilliant way to finish the season, right? With 6 of us all within 0.16 of a second is just that's unbelievable. And we were racing really well up there. Like it was it was no holds barred, but we managed to hold it together. So yeah, no, like that was, yeah, 6th and a 6th race is a little annoying, but yeah, I couldn't find my spot through there. I keep getting a draft and then have to back off because there was no way to go. So, but no, congrats to the guys. That was brilliant. Race 1, yeah, I think that was. I didn't want him to go down the inside there. I thought that was, you know, it's a high risk move. It was unnecessary, but like, you know, I had nowhere to go at that point. We were sort of just trying to slot in between, and Hendo sort of kept it relatively tight, or too tight for a 3-car. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but you know, it's the way these things go 3 wide. It's difficult to judge, I guess. And yeah, race two was chaos really, because I think I started about 17th. So to get to first is I'm pretty happy with, but there was certainly some assists with a few people. Yeah, having a few accidents here and there along the way. But yeah, was able to sort of get that toe into the line, which was nice.
Indeed. Just having a look at a couple of moves from you throughout the course of the evening. Can we ask you when you decided to channel your Interlargos Chastain and ride the wall? Because you did that twice.
Yeah, that was. I saw that there was about a V and an inch width on that outside at one point, and went, all right, we'll go for it. That inch decided to disappear though, so I don't know. We only just got away with it, but we could get away with it, and yeah, I like that outside for the first corner sort of line, and as much as you're up against the wall, like I don't like being on the inside or in the middle for that first corner as much, so I sort of find it safer as long as I don't get squeezed up against the wall. So that's why I sort of ended up using that a fair bit through there, and then if you hold it, you've got it to, you know, turn 2 as well. So yeah, no, we channeled it a bit tonight. I mean, it's nothing to lose really tonight, so it was thought we'd give it a red hot crack, you know, play fair, but you know, play hard and put on a bit of a show.
Indeed. Stay with me, mate. Just coming back in a moment. Just letting everybody know, 23 seconds away from half-time at the Gather. The Lions currently trailing Collingwood in Thursday night football. Both these teams looking for their first win, and no one's going to laugh if they end up drawing the game. 5-3-33 plays 4-8-32. Brisbane with a kick, which will most likely be after the siren, to potentially either lock the game up or take the lead going into the long break. Chapo, it's been a great season, 10 weeks, 30 races, probably 3 of the best tonight, for the drama, for the unsureness, for the lottery of it. We'll see more Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport Formula V next term, and we're very excited about that. I can only imagine how difficult your job's going to be if the Lions kick the goal and take the lead by 5 at the long break. 38 plays 33. I can only imagine how difficult the job's going to be trying to put a calendar together that will deliver as good a racing as what we've had tonight, let alone the rest of the season.
It will, yeah. I mean, you know, we've now organised 2 10-week calendars with largely different tracks, so we'll have to think a bit outside the box for next season, and think about what's going to work. Might, you know, put a few things forward to the boys and see what they think. I do think, you know, while some of the tracks this season I think were great, you know, others were probably, you know, too big. Like Monter's too big, for instance. That's right. You know, and so some might need to have a different think about. But yeah, we'll have to think about how we do it, and as well, probably going to change up the program slightly into how the grids are formed.
Okay. Oh, right.
So, which I think will be all for it, because what we're thinking is a full reverse grid after race 1 and a reverse 10 after race 2.
Why not?
You know, make sure that we keep having, you know, new people up the front, and you know, the fun of these is that sort of everyone, you know, gets a shot at it, and you know, and can play around up front, so, and have these big battles. So yeah, well, that's the thought process at this point. It'll be, you know, we'll have to have people be reasonable and careful, of course, you know, in that sort of situation. But yeah, I think we'll create some good racing and hopefully get a few people involved and a few more people on broadcast.
I'm all for it. Well done, mate. Thank you for that. Well done with all your efforts throughout the course of the season. Hopefully we'll get a chance to have a chat to you to put a full stop on the season that was from the broadcast standpoint, from the club standpoint, at the end of the Porsches. Mate, enjoy.
Nice, thank you.
All right. I think we might have a bit more lag on Chabo's end again there, like what we had last night. That's okay. We will press on for the moment. We've got Chris Stark joining us. We've got Rd-10 joining us. We've got John Merritt joining us. Cedo, welcome back. Nice to have you in the booth after a race. Far too long since that's been the case. Well done. A good showing tonight. Pushed your way through there at the end. We had 3 different winners in 3 races. We love when that happens in Formula V.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been a while.
It has been indeed. What do you make of the night that was? I mean, a lottery at the best of times, and you had to fight your way back because you were 10th coming into that final race on the grid after running into trouble in race 2, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, when we're going 5 wide into turn 1, it's, you know, sometimes doesn't always work. No, I think I got the win in race 1 as well, but and then yeah, it's just the battling, I guess, and then got it out, and then yeah, so it was good to get back front from the line last one.
So you and one more. You are something that have 3 different winners tonight. And all the drama that's going on, and we should have. There was no reason why we shouldn't have. Anyone could have won that coming onto the main straight. Get Tendo by 0.06 of a second. But it seemed as though you and John had it worked out that that's where you wanted to be. You didn't want to be leading coming onto the main straight. It's too easy to get gobbled up.
Yeah, definitely didn't want to be leading, that's for sure. But I thought we sort of stuffed it up a bit at MG through that section. But yeah, I guess it worked out for me in the end. So got lucky. Indeed.
What have you been doing with yourself to keep yourself busy, mate? Because I know we only see you on a sporadic type basis these days, and it is nice to have you back when you do drop by to say good day to us, especially when you put in performances like that. It's nice to be able to rock up and return to form.
Yeah, I don't bother coming in if I don't go any well, which is most of the time, to be honest, lately.
Here with a sailor.
No, just like, yeah, just busy with work. So I sort of haven't got time to really get in the sim much, like certainly not to test. So I just like to jump on when I can, just to have a crack, and these sort of races are perfect for that.
Indeed they are, mate. Very nicely done. I mean, it's very hard to take the Formula V's too seriously. I mean, we certainly tried to from the broadcast standpoint because it's really some of the best racing of the week. But from the competitive standpoint, I mean, you often more times than not can't read too much into the results because so much unfolds in such a short period of time because everybody's so closely matched.
Yeah, that's right. That's the beauty of it, I suppose, especially on a track like this. Anyone's got a chance if they can stay in the tow. But yeah, I mean, you know, driving the track's pretty boring on your own, but obviously in the racing situation, it's awesome because, you know, you're sweating it up, like worried about 3 or 4 cars coming either side of you every second corner.
Yeah, Greg Heaney, who's still with us in the booth, actually knows what it's all about. Driving around on your own in the last race and how boring that can be, Greg.
Oh, I think it's not too bad. You can just keep to yourself and just being I'm in VR and coming out of the southern loop, I can watch them all going 4 wide down the front straight through the first corner.
Love it. Love it. Cedo, one last question before I let you go. 2-parter. One, when work's not keeping you busy, how much time are you dedicating to the sim rig to the point of have you had a chance to test the wet weather yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen the other boys. I watched a bit of the broadcast the other night, GD3s, and that looked a bit interesting. I think I'll steer away from the wet weather for a little while, looking at that. But no, yeah, I just haven't got much time to get on. But I'm going to have a run at Nords this weekend in the Endurance Championship with John. So we'll see how that goes. I've already wrecked about 10 to 15 cars in practice. So we'll see if we make it through the 4 hours.
All right, mate. Good luck. Yeah, I reckon a few people might trip up around the Nordschleife. Geez, I couldn't think of a worse scenario than Nordschleife and rain. Hey, Cedo, well done, mate. Great to have you back, and great to see that you and the Pulse boys had a really solid run tonight up there in the top 10 on a regular basis. Go well for Easter.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone involved in the club for putting on the races. It's good just to jump on and have some fun.
Indeed it is. John, I said at the start that we didn't need water to add any spice to Formula V, but even you, the experienced man, and we should now congratulate you actually and say John Merritt, champion of Formula V for another season. Is that title number 3 or 4? You must be happy to see the back of that, because that was not a smooth night at the office by your standards.
It sort of wasn't putting the icing on the cake, was it?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
More like dropping the cake.
Yeah, I dropped the cake even. Yeah. No, mate, it was. There was some awesome battling, and you know, couple of poor average moments out there, but mate, 4 or 5 wide down the straight. I couldn't do Phillip Island the last time we raced here, so mate, I'm just going to claim the lack of experience, you know, for the night. But no, it was good fun.
I mean, it must be nice that in a sort of unfortunate way, yes, tonight didn't go to plan for you, mate, but how lucky you were that you had that buffer, you had that advantage up your sleeve to play with. I mean, it's not the way you want to win a championship, but at the end of the day, championships are won on consistency, and you have been the benchmark all season.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I think... oh, mate, I'm just going to, even if we didn't have to, we're going to turn up and race. And mate, it was good to see Cito have a couple of wins. He was bang on speed tonight. And yeah, you know, the race 2, I think I got a little bit of AstroTurf and did it all myself. So no one to blame. But when you look in the mirror, but yeah, it was, mate, still it produces good racing. So irrespective, yeah. I'll be happy to come here every season.
You and me both. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd be happy if we just had a championship dedicated to 3 races every Thursday night in the V's around the island. I don't think anyone would complain.
In the wet.
But yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone would complain with that recipe. Are you having run in the Porsche, mate?
No, mate, I'm not. I haven't had a chance to do a lap, so yeah, I've spent a bit of time on it this week, so sadly not. And a little bit of Nords practice, as Cito said, for the VLN this weekend.
So important, especially with the threat of weather as well. Well done on another great campaign, mate. Obviously not the way you would have wanted to finish it off tonight, but a good solid bounce back, fight back in race 3. Go well for the rest of the season and the Easter period. And I mean, obviously you're going to keep yourself busy on the sim rig, and barring work commitments getting in the way, we look forward to seeing you back on a regular basis in Turn 2, mate. Go well.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. All the best to you for Easter, and the rest of the club members. Thanks to Chappie for organising the committee and race control. Appreciate it.
Indeed, there he is, John Merritt, and congratulations to Cito as well. So even though John Merritt's at the top of the summit as far as the championship is concerned, he wasn't there tonight, but at least his team was. And I don't think any of us can be terribly surprised at that. Let's grab a break on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. This is Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport. The main course is done. Dessert is about to be dished up, ladies and gentlemen. 3 races in the Porsche Elite Cup as Denchi goes out in pursuit of title number 9. Again, because he's already racked up title number 9 this week in GT3. Now he's about to go out and do it in the Porsche as well. He can tick that box in race 1 from the Interlargos circuit in Brazil when we come back on the other side of this. And of course, we couldn't do this without, and it's important to thank them once more, the great people that support the GSRC season on season. And they include Brake Decider, Waste Options, Player One Sim Gear, Loadsy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. The Lions lead at the Gabba, the Panthers lead the Roosters. Thursday Night Football will give you a full update on those on the other side of the break as well. We're about 8 minutes away from Porsche action right here across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Don't go away. Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. And yes, we've barely got our breath back from a phenomenal final round of Spreyton Soda Formula V from the island. And we take you to somewhere in there, ladies and gentlemen, the Interlargos circuit in Brazil. Foggy as all hell, ready for the final three races of the Spreyton Soda Porsche Cup campaign, where Matthew Dench should clinch, seal, sign and deliver his 9th consecutive Porsche Elite Cup. Zach Coburn alongside Greg Heaney and Daniel Correa-Sarr, where it's 7:54 a.m. in the morning. We'll update you on that in just a moment because the cars are about to line up on the grid. We can do that now. Oh, the fog's gone. It's sunny all of a sudden. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's March 27, 2024. 89% humidity, 37 degrees on track, 22 the ambient, 5 km/h winds, and 89% humidity. Corey Lazarus has picked Matty Dench for pole by 0.057 of a second. Todd Haynes, Jared Knight, second row, Ben Pedersen, Aaron Cooper, third row, Josh Zuno and David Christensen, fourth row. Zuno, the best place to be open, split at the moment. Oscar Haynes, the wildcard tonight without class delegation. And Dane Snadden making up the top 10 on the grid here. And it's a good field tonight for the Porsches. 21 cars lining up. Jonathan Hooper, Truk Fong Wong from 6th. Adam Lavis, Paul Wilson from 7. Ryan Preston, Joe Baldwin from 8. Tom Williams and Christian Costi 9. Luke Turner and Adam Payne from 10. The championship, because I can just squeeze that in before these guys turn wheels in anger and everything gets going here. Matty Dench, 484, leads Todd Hayne, 368, 331 for Dane Snadden, Paul Wilson, 319 and 264 for Jared Knight. Sebastian Spicer, 248, Corey Lazarus, 241, Taylor Serrano, 216, Trent Allen, 199, and Jonathan Hooper, 194 points. The open split, Adam Lavis, 486 plays, Truk Fong Wong, 442, Blake Fitz, 367, Tristan Cross, 321, David Christensen, 265. You know, it's between two men. It's between Fong Wong and Lavis. Forget about the rest. Let's be perfectly honest here, with no disrespect to anyone else in that field. The final one of the season now. It's a 15-race campaign in the Porsche Cup, half the Formula V offering. But tonight we've got 3 races on the agenda for you. It's the only 3-race night of the campaign for these guys. It'll start with the 15-minute. Then, of course, we'll up it to a 20-minute, and we'll finish it off with a 35. And we are ready to fire from the Interlargos circuit in Brazil. Invert top 10 for that second race as well. some onboard shots for you. We'll have plenty of them throughout the course of the evening. This track rewards bravery but punishes anyone that gets out of hand. Away we go, lighting up the tyres. Corey Lazarus has made an absolute botcher of a start. He's bogged it down and lost 4 positions early. The run towards the first corner. Oh no! There goes Todd Hayne. Josh Zuno caught up in that as well. There's a couple of others that we need to have a look at there. Adam Hunt. Oh no! Oh, in the wall! In the wall! Benny Patterson's gone. Now, how's that happened? More to the point. Carnage on the opening lap here. Zuno's dropped 4 spots. Fung Wong's dropped 3. That's advantage Adam Lavis. Jonathan Hooper's dropped 5. Todd Hayne and Ben Patterson have dropped 14 and 13 respectively. No Luke Turner, no Adam Hayne, no Aidan Schultz. We're down to 18 already, and 3 of them have run into trouble in the early stages here. Let's have a look at a replay at the start. And Todd Hayne squeezed by Benny Patterson. Or squeezing Benny Patterson, more to the point. My apologies. Zuno took evasive action going through the grass. So that's why he dropped some spots. And then Benny Patterson up on the ripple strip. Oh, wow. He tried to catch that 14 times. He tried to catch that 14 times. And unfortunately, it just did not work for him. He kept the boot into it too. He did not lift off, and unfortunately he pays the price. Because this track, when you get it wrong, with Armco to the left and concrete to the right, it bites hard. Denching leads Jared Knight after 1 lap. Aaron Cooper is 3rd. Corey Lazarus, after making an absolute monster at the start, sits 4th. And Oscar Haynes is up 4 spots into the top 5. Going down, oh, more trouble! Joe Baldwin, David Christensen, gone. Jonathan Hooper and Christian Koch off behind that as well. Benny Patterson rides to pit lane. Action aplenty in the early stages. We've got Greg Heaney sitting here in central commentary with us again. I'll get some insights from him in just a moment, what he's made of that opening lap. That is unfortunate as Baldwin got into his teammate. He'll be redressing that one as we speak. So they have lost an almighty chunk of time and ground in the early stages here. And at the moment, the beneficiary of this invert is going to be Tom Williams in 10th. He will be the beneficiary. Up 7 spots already, and could well potentially lead the field off at the start of race 2 if he stays where he is. But he's got to withstand the pressure mounting from the likes of Todd Hayne straight on by. Thank you very much for coming. Around the outside, in fact, Todd Hayne. Through the hairpin, look at that. And Adam Lavis as well. So, that dips him. That dips him. So he's lost 2 spots already. So he's out of that 10. He's out of that threshold. Dench, Knight, Cooper, Lazarus, Haynes, Snadden, Wilson, then Preston leading the open split at the moment from Zuno and Hayne. So Zuno's redeemed himself, has gained 2 spots back that he lost earlier. Massive amounts of entertainment and drama in the early stages here. Going to do well to top what we saw in Formula V, but at least the boys aren't letting us down. They're putting on a show right from the start, Daniel Correa-Sarton. What about the seas parting for Chook? Have a look at that. Fung Wong's just had the gap open up, you know, the size of the Great Wall of China for him. Magnificent. Oh,
I think that might have been a redress there, boys. He did kind of force Chook wide.
See, it's always nice to have, I mean, obviously, Daniel's a racer as well, but he's more focused on pushing the buttons and making sure you guys at home can watch this action. Great to have a driver insight specifically in here watching on and keeping a keen eye on things like Greg Heaney. And he's been here all week, and he's welcome back anytime. His insight's been...
Oh, you got another spinner. Chook's just gone round.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's...
It was going okay for him until then.
You win some, you dim some.
Yeah.
And that was a dim sum.
That was a almost sketchy recovery as well.
I like that from you, Denver. So you can stick around with more humour like that, please. In the meantime, have a look at this. Corey Lazarus under the pump here. Side by side, toe-to-toe with Aaron Cooper. Jared Knight keeping that dent on us at the moment, but Cooper and Lazarus is what we've got to keep our eyes on here. Just going around the grounds for you as these guys sort themselves out on lap number 4. The Penrith Panthers lead the Sydney Roosters 14-6 on Thursday night football. That one, of course, being played at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. The start of 5 days of footy, of course, with Easter Monday not too far away, and public holiday football for both. Oh, look at that. That's forcing the issue. Lazarus.
He'll stick this well,
his
too.
way through on the inside.
Oh, no, the
Trying
speed.
to open up the door and can't get it done. Cooper on the exit. Immediately across to hug the ripple strip on the next corner of the left-hander. So well done. Very well done indeed by Corey Lazarus. In the meantime, Brisbane lining up for a shot at goal here, and they've missed it completely. So they continue to trail Collingwood by 1 point. Collingwood 6-3-39 by 5-8-38. Thursday night football at the Gabba. If I wasn't here, I probably would have been interested in going there. But then again, the Gabba leaves a little bit to be desired. Maybe when they get crossed with a rail gun, it'll make more sense. In the meantime, 4 of 10 here. So it's a 10 lap in this opening race. 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes and 35 to format tonight.
It could get interesting at turn 1.
It should be. It should be very interesting because, watch this, around the outside, if Lazarus can hang tough there, he's got the inside run. He's got the corner. Can he make it work to his advantage? You better believe it he can. Very nicely done. Got across, covered off any chance Cooper had of attacking him on the run out of 3 down to 4. But now has to keep him at bay on the run down there because Cooper's going to get the toe on the slipstream. It's not as good in Porsches as it is in Formula V, trust me. Now, Denchi. What about this from Jared Knight? A love-hate relationship with this Porsche, but at the moment going toe-to-toe with one of the best in the business, if not the best in the business, and has the fastest lap of the race to show for it as well. 1:34.820. Dench need only bring it to the line in race 1 here, and the job is done. Thanks mainly to the fact that his main opponent was, well, nearly 120 points behind coming into this round. Knight is doing everything he can here to try and distract and put Denchi off, but it's not working just yet. Dench remains a cut above the rest and continues to lead them through. But this, I'll tell you what, Knighty will be delighted that he's getting a good piece of, at least a good view of Denchi's, the rear end of that Porsche at the moment. Now, Dench, Knight, Lazarus, Cooper, Haynes up into 5th. What a drive from him thus far. We saw Oscar on Tuesday night, actually. That was the first time I actually got a look at Oscar Haynes, Greg, in the up-and-comers. He didn't disappoint there. He was a bit ambitious and a little bit overconfident, and that brought him undone in the rain. But then he's kept popping up throughout the course of the rest of the week. He's going to be one to watch if he can put in performances like this first cab off the run. Oh,
definitely. I mean, up-and-comers will certainly bring out the talent with everybody with the variance in the cars, and well, not so much the variance in the car, but the variance. Well, yes, it was variance in the car, and the varied track conditions as well. So, looks like watching from the chopper view here, it looks like Denchi's opened up a couple of car lengths on Jared. Jared looked like he was going to have a run on him up to turn 1, but
well. It's not going to matter. The race control message coming down the bottom of the screen there, ladies and gentlemen. 10-second penalty for Ben Pedersen for contact on Todd Hay. Not going to impact Benny because he's in the pit lane out of business already after 9 minutes. He's going to be the better part of 5 laps down, having been stationary on pit road for 7 minutes. So he's not going to be classified in this race, so another 10 seconds isn't going to hurt him. Joe Baldwin sitting there in 13th at the moment. Dench the leader, Jared Knight second. They've gapped Lazarus, who's gapped Cooper, Haynes, then Snadden, Wilson, who picked up the next battle on the track with Todd Hayne on the comeback trail at the moment. Back up into 8th spot. Preston leads Zuno and Lavis as far as the open split is concerned, and then Hooper, Baldwin, then Christensen, Williams, Fung Wong, Koch and Pedersen. So we'll have a field of 18 for the next race, with Benny just sitting there waiting patiently for the next race to roll around. invert top 10 is going to make things lively and interesting. With the onus on overtaking, because there won't be any scheduled compulsory slash and dash stops in that race. So the onus will be on racing hard and getting the elbows out and potentially dirty. And then, of course, everything to play for with the progressive grid into race 3. Matty Dench leads. We're at 3.5 minutes from home. So essentially the two race distances here, 15 and 20, add up to the third race distance, which is double points. We need to emphasise that as well. What happened to Adam Hayne? I know he's still sore after his op. Well, we didn't even know that he had an op. There's been a few of us in the hospital wards of late, hasn't there? Fair dinkum. Have a look at Hayne trying to get down on the inside. Trying to jar his way through on Paul Wilson. He'll get it done on the next corner, I think. Yep, down the inside. Wilson, happy to yield. Not forcing the issue. There's been a few of us in hospital recovery wards in the last 12 months. I've been in a hospital. Joe's been there. Pete's currently there. Didn't know that Adam Hayne had been there. We hope he's all right. Not sure what happened to him tonight, mate. Whether he, because we saw him there in the server in Quali, but he hasn't lined up in the race. So he might still be a little bit sore. We'll wait and see. Matty James leads. 3 laps to go at the Interlargos circuit in Brazil, and that's this is a good time to make the point. People won't appreciate at home, Greg Henry, Daniel Perez, so you guys are in a better position to comment than me, just how much of a workout this can be. They'll say, oh, you're only sitting at your computer desk at home, how strenuous can it be? But people don't realise just how much physically and mentally sessions like this take out of you.
Oh, definitely.
Whoa. Sorry, Greg.
I was about. No, you're right. I was actually about to chime in and change my tact as well. I was watching that. This is a physical e-sport. I mean, yes, it's virtual. Yes, you're driving a car, but I mean, you can go from anything from an entry-level Logitech wheel all the way up to something that could take your arms off if you really wanted to. I mean, I did 12 laps practice in a GTP around Suzuka the other day, and my arms felt like they wanted to fall out.
Yep, and Adam Hayne just confirming that actually, that he did try, but it's still a no-go for him. Mate, rest up, recover, look after yourself, have a good Easter, and be back firing in all cylinders on April 18 when we launch into Turn 2 for Thursday Night Motorsport. In the meantime, Daniel Perez, Greg Heaney alongside yours truly, Zach Caden. We are on lap 8 of 10. We're racing towards the checkered flag. Next time by, not this time by, next time by, white flag in the air. Denchi's just controlling this race nicely, Daniel.
He is. I might just add on to what Greg was saying,
yes,
and yourself when you're talking about the physicality of sim racing. So there's a couple of things that you do have to consider, and one of them is most of the wheelbases, because of the fact that they are a motor and they're churning power, they generate a lot of heat. So if your room's not well ventilated, you end up creating a sauna almost, with all the forces generating heat and going through the body of the wheelbase. Not only that, but depending on how you sit in your sim rig, will also depend on how much strain you get on your legs, because you've got resistance, particularly in the brake pedal, but most accelerator pedals across all the different types of hardware will have a spring, and some people have a tougher spring and some people have a softer spring. And so what ends up happening is you're actually engaging those leg muscles and you're holding them in position for long periods of time. And so at the moment you're doing it, you don't really notice it, but trust me, if you do an enduro and you do 4-6 hours of racing, when you get out, it's almost like you've been like full leg day at the gym.
Try 8 hours of Spa, that was fun.
Yeah, we did. I did the Sebring 12-hour with Matt Schmidtke and David Christensen, and I was wrecked.
Knight might have had a run there, but I think Denchi covered him off well enough, so I think Denchi's got this one.
That'll be white flag now.
White flag in the air. Last lap. Let's do it. Race 13 of the campaign. Race 1 of 3 for the night. Matty Dance leads. Jared Knight to turn 1. Knighty having one down the inside.
That's a big dive. Oh, that's a big dive.
Knighty is going to redress immediately. Knight and Dench have come together. And now, 90's going to be under pressure from Corey Lazarus, trying to get back up to speed on the back straight. Lazarus is wide! Hanging it out beyond the Rebel strip on the AstroTurf. 90 trying to hold on the inside to second. Around the outside goes Lazarus to P2. He's still out wide. He's too wide. 90's getting back on the inside. Lazarus has the overlap on the run up towards the right-hander and will get second. 90 from first to third in half a lap. Can you believe that?
Oh, Knight might go the under here.
What a mission to keep Denchi as honest as he did for as long as he did. But unfortunately, a rocks break, a bit of hip and shoulder, and Denchi prevails once more. Down the inside, that was brilliant. It was brave, it was bold. I don't know whether Denchi saw him there or whether there was too much on the accelerator from 90. One or the other. But Denchi prevails. 90 will slot into third behind Corey Lazarus, and just 1.3 seconds is going to cover the three at the end of the opening race here. Main straight checkered flag, if it wasn't already secure, it is now. Title number 9 for Matty Dench, and the job done at Interlargos. Race 1 is his, and now they'll go to rows 5 and 4 respectively and try and do it again. Aaron Cooper home for 4th, Oscar Haynes the standout performer in 5th. He'll be elevated into pro status next season, no doubt. And then Todd Haynes, Dane Snadden, Paul Wilson. Then Josh Zuno. This is the battle between Jonathan Hooper and also Joe Baldwin on the run to the line. 12th, 13th and 14th. David Christensen right behind them as well. Oh boy. No change to the order there. Jonathan Hooper tried to pull out of the draft and go for it, couldn't get it done. Baldwin holds on to 12th. Oh. And if that's anything like what the next two are going to be like, I will not have a voice left for the Easter weekend, which means radio on Saturday morning will be a little bit of a struggle. Collingwood leading by 2 points at the Gabba. 6-8, 44, trails 7-4, 46. Collingwood on top at the moment. Thursday night football from the Gabba in the AFL, and of course the NRL at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, exactly. Dave Dench signed and delivered 1 down and 2 to go. Now it's about putting the icing on the cake and maybe the cherry on top and some sprinkles as well. Penrith leading the Roosters 22-6. I'd say that's as good as done. Thursday night football at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. And now we turn our attention to race 2 here. 9 Eastern Daylight Time, and the Porsche Cup finale with thanks to Spreyton Cider. The invert top 10 here. Ryan Preston and Josh Zuno have a jump start essentially on the rest of their open split colleagues here, ahead of Paul Wilson, Dane Snadden, Todd Haynes, Oscar Haynes rather. So you've got a Hayne and a Haynes on that third row. That's not confusing at all. Aaron Cooper, Jared Knight, Corey Lazarus, and Matty Dench in top 10. Lavis, Baldwin, Hooper, Christensen, Williams, Kosh, Fung Wong and Pedersen make up the field. And Benny Pedersen will be hoping for a far better start than last time out, because it ended before it began, really, him coming unstuck on the run out of turn 3 down to turn 4. Ready to fire. What can Denchi do from 10th? Can Lazarus and Knight offer up any sort of resistance to him? Let's go. Let's find out. The elite boys are going to get swamped here. Up the outside goes Paul Wilson. Trouble on the main straight, potentially. Couple of cars getting left behind. Off goes Ryan Preston. Pulled up, gone, done.
Does he have?
And that's a bizarre one. That is a really bizarre departure from him. Josh Zuno's going to lead this one. Todd Haynes to second. 3 wide on the run down to turn 4. Squeezing down on the inside. Good move, Corey Lazarus. And also Dane Snadden and Aaron Cooper. Oh,
sweet.
Zuno was wide. Zuno was wide. Hayne, Wilson, Snadden, Lazarus, Cooper, Knight, and then Dench, and then Josh. Haynes, Pedersen. Oh, hang on. More trouble.
He's coming to the side of Cooper.
More trouble.
And now look at Dench trying to go on the inside. It's gone!
Denchi's gone! Denchi's gone! Denchi's tripped up. We know how much he hates these invert races. That won't help matters.
It was a cheeky move, but I don't blame him for trying to do it. We'll see if we can go back and try and spot exactly what happened there. So Aaron Cooper got tagged on the back by Corey Lazarus here. Just jump on board here on the roof. So he comes in and just gets tagged. And then have a look at Matt Dench on the inside. We'll actually go back because that took a little too long to switch over. But Dench saw everything unfolding. And when he saw that gap, you know what they say about race drivers? So he thought I could squeeze in, and unfortunately Knights then tried to go in. It's a little too far.
Oh.
Didn't have enough overlap.
And really, to be fair, Knighty did nothing wrong there.
That's right.
Unfortunately,
that's right.
Dench was over the ripple strip. Like,
He caught that.
Lazarus with the drift work.
He actually caught that.
How the hell did he catch that? Are you kidding me? And I guess, have a look at this. This is Jared Knight's onboard shot. Watch this from Lazarus. Watch this. Going. Greg Heaney, surely you'd love to be out there in the thick of this at the moment. And another point I want to make, at least Denchi's proving he is human after all.
Well, that's good to see. So at least there is hope for us in the GT3 field at some point in time. But yes, I mean, as Dan said, if Dan, as Dan said, race drivers, if you see a gap, you'll go for it. And if you don't, you're not a race driver anymore. I can confirm, I looked back at it, Ryan Preston jumped out of the car because he actually had a jump start.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. I mean, a jump start, he could have came to pit lane, but there's no doubt about that. He could have come in, served penalty and got back out there. But now he's just parked up and waiting for race 3. That is disappointing for Ryan Preston. So he bailed on that very early in the piece. Didn't have to, but rather than get out there and potentially ruin somebody else's race, he's on the tow rope.
No, I honestly thought he was just moving over to let the field go and run a bird from the stern, as you say. But no, I watched it back, and he's jumped the start by about half a second.
We'll get a replay of that, no doubt, very shortly, just to have a look at everybody and how they all avoided following suit. But yes, unfortunately, just a little bit too trigger happy.
Oh, Lazarus again!
What happens? Jeez, the tail end of his Porsche is not a happy chappy tonight.
No, I think he's going for style points over everything.
At the moment, yeah, the championship's done. He's got nothing to lose. So at least he put some stuff on the highlight reel. Have a look at Todd Hayne leading. We're watching Jared Knight in fourth all over the back of Dane Snap like a cheap suit, trying to fend off Oscar Haynes as well. Haynes is the wild card in this, as far as I'm concerned. He can throw caution to the wind. He has got nothing to lose. That young man.
He's also running a
journey in this one.
He's running a fantastic livery as well. I love that livery.
Yeah, it is good. It's a terrific looking motor car, no doubt about that.
It's also for sale.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it's being sold by, or it's down at the Spreyton Porsche Centre. So,
have a look at this. Have a look at this. I'm coming back to you, Daniel. Jared Knight up on the outside. On the high side of Dane Snowden, trying to get the up and under at turn 1 and 2. Have a look at Snowden the inside. Knight the outside. Who prevails? Who's the bravest on the brakes to turn 1? It's Knight around the outside. Knight around the outside to the inside at 2. Racecraft 101 at Interlargos from Jared Knight. Denied earlier and not wanting to be denied another time. Paul Wilson, the next target. His teammate out by 3 1/4 seconds at the moment. So this is potentially as far as Jared Knight will be able to go to make it a HTS Racing 1-2, which would be great news for the team on the final night of turn. Lazarus again wide. Haynes up the inside. Haynes trying to go up into P5 on the outside towards the top of the hill to the right-hander. We're riding on board with him. Haynes would love it if Lazarus was friendly enough to leave the door open, but Lazarus does not. And Haynes will follow him through once more. Benny Pedersen having a much better run too. Boys up 11 spots already from 18th to 7th.
Yeah, well, I might jump in.
Well, hello, Chapper. Nice to have you on board.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd surprise you. Oh, not too bad. It's been
You've had a busy night so
lively.
far.
It's been a bit lively, hasn't it? You know, yeah. Once my laptop started working, I was able to start working on things.
Oh no!
So that's excellent. We're just suffering from technical issues this week. But yeah, just looking at race 1. So Haynes did get sort of dumped by Peterson there a bit into turn 1. So there was a 10-second penalty applied to that, along with 2 safety points. But it looks like his race is going a lot better this time. So swings and roundabouts, and as well, Chukong Wong got 15 seconds for not holding his brakes after that first corner incident as well. Fortunately, didn't cause too much of a problem, but yeah, he got straight back on the throttle, right onto racing line, which you can't do. So, yeah, so that's that. I don't think it will make too much difference for his race as to where he was. Then race 2, no one's actually called anything in, and to be honest, I sort of had a look at those incidents and did sort of seem more sort of unfortunate in the gaggle of first lap stuff than anything else. So there's nothing that looked horrendous in there, or a sort of a gaggle of racing incidents, or smaller ones, if someone was to call it in, I'd say.
Copy that. Now, just letting everybody know, the NBL is also on tonight. My apologies, a little bit of a brief oversight on my part, because the NBL finals are underway. Game 4, Tasmania up against Melbourne. I'll have a score from that one for you as soon as possible, as soon as it finishes down there in Tassie. And of course, Tassie, the talk of the town in the NBL for the last 3 seasons. Their second finals campaign, and it's important to note that they won on enemy territory on Sunday with a 3-pointer about 2 seconds from home. So they've got the chance to wrap up the championship tonight. And if they can do that, then yes, we will not require a 5th game on Sunday. But if Melbourne can get the job done on enemy territory tonight, it'll go down to the decider at John Cain Arena Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Keep an eye on that. When we go around the grounds next. Collingwood leading by 15 points at the Gabba as well. In the meantime, we go back to Matty Dench. Really rare air for him at the moment. Boxed in the pack, 10th at the moment, and he will be pulling out all stops to make his way as far forward as he can to get back to the pointy end of town for that 3rd and final race, which is coming up over 35 minutes a little bit later on this evening. On the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Great to have you along for the ride. Grand final night, race 5 at 6 on the program. We had scintillating action in Formula B as per usual. Now the Porsche's delivering, and the door being left wide open there for Matty Dennis to go down on the inside of Chuk Fung Wrong. And Oscar Haynes has ended up back down there as well, unfortunately, in 11th. And did we actually get to see what happened to Haynes or not? Because he's back down there in 11th.
So he had a slight disconnect. Just blinking, and then when he reappeared, he was off the track going into that's turn 4. So yeah, so he rejoined. He's unfortunately down in 11th. And the other thing too here is this is a rare chance for those who generally run in the midfield of the races to try and size up themselves as to what the pressure might be like when you've got Matt Dench right behind you. Because if you see that black and gold car, you know it's coming. And so Chuk Fung Wong, he basically went, yeah, this ain't for me. Moved over to the left, and Matt went straight on the inside. David Christensen held his chops a little bit longer there, but Matt ended up getting past him on that main straight. So since we've got half the race yet to go, lap 7 of 14, I'm curious to see.
Whoa! Corey Lazarus and Jared Knight side by side. Lazarus boxed out of it. Knight to second. Now next target his teammate Jared Hayne, who is 5 seconds up the road. So Hayne leads Knight and Lazarus 1, 2 and 3.
If they keep fighting this way, I think Matthew Dench might actually have an easier job. Because, yeah, I was just curious. What I was going to say was I'm just curious to see how far Dench can climb back up the grid. But, yeah, if all the fighting at the front is just this vicious, yeah, it'll take no time at all. I have to say, though, if you're Todd Hayne, you're pretty much laughing.
Indeed you are.
Yeah. I'd say no one else is safe, though. With Denchi cutting through the field. It's also, you know, that aspect that, yeah, it looks easy, and sometimes it's just because it is, because people let him through, right? You see it in the back, mirrors and go, oh, is there any point in me fighting this into this corner?
Yes,
so
that's
you
how
can
you
sort
learn.
of
Trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a much faster way for you. It's a win-win situation, right? But it also makes it easier, you know, for that fast driver just to slot through in what looks like an effortless way. Because sometimes they are sort of being let through in some respects as well. But now he's behind this big gaggle here, so I'm not sure how this will go as far as how they'll yield. I'm assuming there's no pit stop in this race either, is there?
I'm not sure.
Not this one, no. The next
Okay.
one, yes. But not
So
this one.
that takes you know, an arrow out of his quiver, really, as far as fuel saving is concerned, which he usually has in the back of his pocket in these secondary sprint races, and he can't do that from his reverse grid today. Look at this.
This is still for second in the car race. Knight and Lazarus jerking it out, not wanting to give an inch. Knight with the inside line, Knight with the advantage for now.
That's what it's
Still
about.
HGS 1-2. That was brilliant.
That's what this is about. That's what you want. As close as possible.
Absolutely.
Oh no! Lazarus got locked on a
Trouble! Lazarus got into the side of him. Now there will have to be a redress there, surely. The rest of the train joins the fight. All of a sudden, it's on a Thursday night at the Interlargos circuit in Brazil, and Todd Hayne is oblivious to any of what's going on here. Absolutely loving line 5 seconds up the road. 6.5 now. Have a look at this. Oh, got it locked up. Too deep. It was overcommitted potentially to the corner, Lazarus. Dench gets by. Dench goes by. Cooper goes to 7th now. Next target, Snowden, then Wilson. Then Pedersen and Knight. There's still a chance here for Denching down the inside. Thanks for coming. That's 7th. He edges out Aaron Cooper for the moment. So there's still 6 laps to go. We're on lap 9. We're in the 14th minute of play. Denchy is back up into 7th. How good is this? Now, just getting breaking news through from Hobart. That is the final score. Melbourne 88, Tasmania 86. Grand final Sunday, Game 5 for the NBL. 4 o'clock, you'll see it on ESPN around Australia. In the meantime, have a look at Snowden. Snowden trying to get up on the outside. Can't get it done. Haynes, points for him. Good. One of the other observations here as well, boys, as Jensen now tries to go to the outside, because why not? You can't find a way through otherwise, and he's going to have the inside for the next corner, but unfortunately Snowden wants to force the issue and go around the
Wilson
outside.
blocks him.
Oh, look at that. Wilson, Snowden squeezes through. Snowden squeezes through. Dench will want to go with him, but Wilson's going to be a roadblock for a little bit longer. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, it's interesting here too, boys. You both made reference to Chuk Fung Wong and David Christensen getting out of the road and not wanting a bar at Denchi, but it's important to note for everybody at home, they're in separate classes. They're not in the same fight, so it was in their best interest to do that, Greg.
Oh, most definitely. I've been in that situation before. I think it was race 2, round 1 of the GT3s this year. And it was a case of, okay, how long is it going to take Dench to catch me? Because I was off the front row, and it's just, yeah, unfortunately, it happened a lot faster than I expected with an incident behind me. But yes, no, been in that position before. Spa this week, he ended up catching up to me, and it was a case of, all right, I'll let him go. He's faster than me, and then I'll just tag onto the back of him and follow him around.
Chapo can't come to the phone at the moment. He's dealing with an issue in race control. It's Daniel Caressa, Greg Heaney's at Copenhagen for Thursday Night Motorsport. Now Snap opens it all up. Denchi's not going to wait for a third invitation. Through he goes. The champ is back in the top 5.
Watch Cooper.
And
Watch
Snap
Cooper.
needs to be careful. Snadden needs to be careful. Well picked up, Daniel Caressa. Cooper going to the inside. Snadden will cover him off with the over and under. And got it. Oh, he's going to run side by side through that middle section of the circuit again. Cooper's not done here.
Yeah,
Back down the inside. There we go. Now Snadden loses out. It is on in earnest here.
And not far down the road.
Gabba and Collingwood leading Brisbane by 20 points. Go for it, Greg.
I was saying, not far down the road. Looks like Chook's having a rather interesting battle back there as well. He's defending for his position as best he can.
Here come the two pink Porsches. Looks like the BWT. Oscar Haynes is going to the inside line, which he does. And Chuk Fung Wong's gone wide. I have a feeling he might have some issues with that car because he tends to take much wider lines than one would through some of these corners. So maybe he is dealing with an issue as best as he can. He is giving it a red hot go on the inside. No, actually, he'll just fall in line. So that means the closest battle now moves up a couple of cars. That is Dean Sneddon and Aaron Cooper. Aaron Cooper, of course, just pipping that P6 a couple of corners earlier. Todd Haynes is so far down the road. I don't think Corey Lazarus is going to be able to catch him at this rate. But it's good points on the board anyway for those two. Jared Knight, of course, still within attack range of Corey Lazarus after that unfortunate lockup between those two. There was some contact. I don't believe the position was redressed, so...
No, it doesn't look like it has been yet.
Yeah, I don't know if Race Control have something to say about that. It was an accident, but in any case, it's still an... it was impeding, I guess. There's a word there, I just can't think of it. So yeah, you'd think that there would have been a redress, but instead they carry on. But 3 laps to go, and he's within the attack range, so he might be able to do it on track, no worries. But like we said, the closest battle is the one that you were watching. Dane Snadden in P7, chasing Aaron Cooper for P6.
Down the main straight. We're on lap 12, 3 laps from home. Lazarus has got by Knight again. Knight still trying to get back into second spot. They're up the outside. Cooper and Snadden still side by side. Snadden around the outside.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh, they do touch though.
No, not good.
Door banging
not
there.
Good. Cooper holds on and survives another scare, another challenge. Hayne, Lazarus, Knight, Pedersen, Dench, then Cooper, Snadden. The closest battle on the racetrack. Denchy has fought back into the top 5. It is going to be awesome to watch him fly from position number 5 in the decider. The final race of the night, the round points on the line. The championship already signed, sealed and delivered. But now it's about the bragging rights of the night that was. Forget about everything else. The gloves are off. These guys are solely focused on the outcome of this night and this night only. Easter Thursday Motorsport on the platforms of the GSRC. Snadden can't find a way by Cooper this time.
So Zach, just as well, report from Race Control.
Yes, mate.
So Lazarus has got a 10-second penalty for that contact.
Copy.
Jared there.
Hey, that's going to hurt him. That's going to drop him down to at least 7th, maybe 8th. At the end of the race.
He was not happy with it over the mic.
I wouldn't have thought so.
He can have a chat later. It's, out of control going into that corner, and if he'd redressed it, I probably would have given it to him, right? But he held position after that.
Oh, Snadden and Cooper side by side on the road. One of them come together.
They come together.
Snadden and Cooper come together.
So.
Oh, can you believe this? And now there's people wedged in the fight.
Yeah.
Paul Wilson, the beneficiary, up at a 6th. Oscar Haynes, the wild card, there in 8th. Snadden and Cooper now divided. 7th and 9th. Who was in the wrong? Who has to redress? We'll find out. Haynes to the outside. Haynes trying to sweep around to get by. Is hung out to dry. Can he force the issue, the youngster? He can. He wants to. He will. Can he get by on the inside? Look at Cooper and Snadden now working in tandem as teammates, essentially. Trying to push one another along, but Haynes has got them both. Good drive from Oscar Haynes.
Oh, it was almost textbook.
I think that was intentional from Haynes. When you look at where he is on the racetrack, it's intentional. And then there's a little bit of hip and shoulder, and don't argue from him as well. Well driven by that young man. He knew exactly what he was up to. Lured Snadden into the trap, and Snadden went for it. This is awesome.
I think that turn 1 might be graded as an NFA from Race Control once they've had a look at it, if they're looking at it. But I think that was just good hard racing through turn 1. They just happened to come together at the same point.
Adam Hayne just observing that there is still damage on Jared Knight's car as a result of the contact earlier. Said 90 is going to get second, and 90 will therefore lead a 1-2. Ben Pedersen to pit lane. What's that all about? Ben Pedersen, did he come to pit lane or not? No. But he's dropped down to 9th. We need to have a look. Something's happened to Benny Pedersen. He's dropped down to 9th, and he was showing on pit road momentarily. He's going to get out of control here, isn't he? Is he going to head towards pit lane? Oh, look at this down the inside. Yeah, he has come to pit lane. He has come to pit lane. But why? More to the point. And then back out again. So he's gone back down to 9th.
He's not got too many incident points, maybe. Not that hard to do round here, I don't think.
Especially when you're in a pack like this.
Actually, I've done it round here before. I've definitely got myself a drive
Under
round
fuel.
here before.
Okay. Under fuel, says that name.
Oh, wow.
No way.
I was going to say, I can
Oh, no, the lock up there from Haynes.
Snudden and Cooper going out on Haynes, and Pedersen's in this now as well. Look at this. Round the outside, Snudden and Cooper order restored. They haven't got back by Wilson, but at least they've put Haynes at bay, and Pedersen up the outside as well. Great work, Todd Haynes. Another race win for him in the Spreyton side of Porsche Cup. Lazarus will be relegated. Knight will go second. Dench will go to third, having got by Wilson and Snadden in the later stages. Dench to third. And helped by Pedersen, of course, showing himself out with a under-fuel issue. Oh, what drama here. Hayne and Lazarus, 1 and 2 across the line. Lazarus is going to drop 10 seconds. We know that. But the invoice isn't going to be as bad as we first thought. He's going to drop down to 4th. All that argy-bargy at the end there, Snadden, Cooper, and of course Pedersen coming to pit lane has worked in Corey Lazarus' favour. He is only going to get relegated 2 spots with a 10-second penalty. But Knight will go second, Dench third. What a recovery that is from Denchy, quite frankly. 4th place will go to Corey Lazarus, then Paul Wilson, Dane Snadden, Aaron Cooper, Oscar Haynes, Ben Pedersen. Chuk Fung Wong gets the better of everybody else as far as the open split is concerned. Christensen, Lavis, then Jonathan Hooper, the last of the elite runners. Down we go through the order to Joe Baldwin, Josh Zuno, Tristan Koch, and Ryan Preston.
I reckon Pedersen was a drive-through as well. Zach, just looking at it, he had 20 incident points by the end of that race, and there were a few people getting right up there too, so might not have been
flirting with limits. Flirting with danger, and unfortunately it bites occasionally. Oh boy. I haven't been disappointed by anything we've witnessed tonight, gentlemen. This has been a real good night in the office.
Well, Interlargos never disappoints, does it? Like, you know, we sometimes, you know, Porsche's come in and out as far as, I guess, how good the viewing is sometimes. But this track never disappoints, I don't think. And I reckon, wait until we get some cars out on wets in here. That's going to be quite magic.
I don't know about you boys, but the warm-up session, where'd the fog come from?
Yeah, it's almost as though we've gone back to the AM. But, like, this is not afternoon type weather. Have a look at the time on the server, please, Daniel Correa, sir. 4:17 in the afternoon, and there's a thick fog. What the hell's going on? See, I like the Tempest weather system, but I'm not sure about it in moments like this.
Oh, we've seen Interlargos do this though, Jack. Like, it will just throw clouds at you out of nowhere, and it will just go dark in, you know, the middle of the afternoon. It's like a lunar eclipse.
What year
Can't
was
wait
it?
to see some rain.
What year was it? Where it was
16
pitch
or
black.
17?
It was pitch black.
Like,
Kevin Magnussen took
wasn't that like
pole.
last year? Yeah, no, that was last year.
Oh, that was Magnussen. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the race that went into the almost wee small hours.
And one of the stands got blown over because of the wind that came through.
That's right.
That's right. But I was going to say that's heavy rain and cloud cover. That's not exactly fog. So I'm a little bit surprised by the depth of fog this time in the day. But we'll wait and see what it dishes up as far as race conditions are concerned very shortly, because they'll be heading towards sunset. We know that. We are ready for the drivers to join us on the grid now. The server is at an end. Who's set for this last one, boys, and why?
I mean, you'd have to say Dench, right? Like, unless he gets himself embroiled in another incident, but otherwise, He's got, I don't know, I think he's going to come out of the gate with a vengeance.
37 minutes ahead of us here. 35 minutes was the original schedule, but it's now 37. We are ready to fire. Todd Hayne, Corey Lazarus the front row, Jared Knight, Matty Dench the second row, Paul Wilson, Dane Snadden the third row, Aaron Cooper, Oscar Haynes the fourth row, Ben Pedersen, Chuk Fung Wong the fifth, and we are at 4:30 local time, heading for a clock moving twice as fast in the real world, so we won't be off track until about 20 minutes to 6 server time tonight. Interlargos, the venue, dishing up some great racing on a Thursday night. 6th row, David Christensen, Adam Lavis. 7th row, Jonathan Hooper, and also Joe Baldwin, then Josh Zuno, Christian Koch, and Brian Preston. No Tom Williams. We are down to 17. The Spreyton side, a Porsche Cup Grand Finale. The championship already signed, sealed, and delivered to Matty Dench. The open split still was mathematically on the line coming into tonight. Adam Lavis, Chuk Fung Wong going hammer and tong toe-to-toe for that one.
Dench isn't on the grid.
Let's wait and see. Yeah, well, why would he bother? Why would he bother?
Is he doing a
He's
pit
already got
lane
it wrapped
start?
up.
He's
just
doing a
parked up
pit
and
lane
gone.
start,
He's
surely.
gone.
Oh, this guy.
Dench not taking the start.
Oh,
he's
well.
gone. Oh, no, he is. He's in pit lane and he's now out.
Yeah, there we
what
go.
What the hell's going on
Oh,
here?
he's not going to do Dench.
Is he going to try and do this on one, on no stop? Let's see. Let's see.
Is that
Dench
actually
doing
oh, I
Dench
suppose
things.
it's Dench. I was
What
just
a
saying,
bloody
that
surprise.
mathematically
Let's go. Sorry, Greg. I can't even see these blokes. Have a look at them. It's just a sea of headlights at the moment. Corey Lazarus has got the jump on Todd Hayne and Jared Knight. Great start from Lazarus. Jared Knight in third, then Pedersen, Dane Snadden, Aaron Cooper, then Paul Wilson. Dench is out at the bottom of the train. Let's see what he can do. Oh, Paul Wilson's at 7th at the moment. Oscar Haynes is 8th. Scoreboard doesn't read accurate at the moment because Dench will actually be on the lead lap when it's all sorted itself out at the end of the opening lap.
Chuk's going to drop a few. I think he's just moved wide and just let a whole bunch go past.
Very sneaky gamesmanship from Matthew Dench. What the hell's going on here? What a Thursday night this has been. One for the absolute ages. I will wait and see. Can the master do it again? Or will he have to come to the line for a little bit of juice?
I really
He's given
like...
these guys a head start.
Yeah. I really like the lights. I really like how the lights show up on these cars.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we can do night racing in the Porsches. We just don't go to venues with circuits that have lights erected around it. So that's the problem.
Oh, that's a great switchback. Oh, Pedersen on the inside. Let's see if Knight can hold on to it.
Got him! Got him!
He's open for attack from Snadden now too. Snadden had a better run through the corner.
Snadden on your left.
On board with Aaron Cooper, it looks remarkably clear outside, out the windscreen than what it does from our trackside cam. So keep an eye on that. The visibility of the drive is nowhere near as bad as what it is for commentators at this point. Joe Baldwin out of business. Matty Dench is showing up as 0.45 of a lap, so they're showing as though he's got maybe 5 or 6 seconds to gain on Lazarus, Hayne, etc. So he is in the pack there somewhere. I think second last in the queue. Third last maybe, having got by next target Jonathan Hooper. In the meantime, Aaron Cooper to the inside of Dane Snadden. These two resuming their duel. It's not over yet. And they're trying to go with Jared Haynes. So is Denchi going to pull off the fuel save masterclass and try and do a 37-minute race on one stop? Jesus. Oh, no stop. One stop start from pit lane.
Great overtake there by Haynes.
Nice. I would have thought it would be difficult around here, Greg, but if anyone can do it, Denchi can.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if he's sitting behind everybody on the straights, he can lift off a little bit and just coast and just do Dench things.
And even if he doesn't, he's got nothing to lose. He can afford to, take a stab at it, take a punt, try his hand. He's already got the championship wrapped up. So this is more so an experiment more than anything else.
Well, yeah, it's either that or maybe he got bored at the front and felt like a change.
Possible. I'd be a little bit bored having spent 9 seasons at the front of Horace, didn't you? Down the inside, makes a light work of Jonathan Hooper, moves into 14th, and now showing on the lead lap. So it took a while to record and correct itself. Now timing monitor, but it's now accurate. Dench up to 14th, 13 to go. The margin to the leader is 10.5 seconds. We can't afford to lose too much time, but we don't know exactly what the pit window is going to be for these guys. We don't know how much stop time they're going to require. So there's so many variables here and now, and if Dench can do this without stopping again and stay within relative distance to those guys at the front, there's no reason why he couldn't pull this off. If anyone can do it, Dench can. We're watching Brian Preston not jumping the start this time around, running 12th. All over the back of Josh Dumo like a check suit, trying to fend off Chuk Fung Wong and to run down the main straight. Right on board with Preston. Oh, Fung Wong a little bit wide to turn 1. That's costing a little bit of time. So that's advantage Preston. And Denchi's right there. So watch Denchi now target Chuk Fung Wong. And these open guys, will they even want to fight Denchi? Or will they be aware of the fact that he's just going to use them for a little bit of a tow? Let's wait and see.
There's a decent amount of battle packs forming this time by. Usually by this point of the race they tend to extend, but in this case everyone's managed to keep up with everyone else, which is good. There's a couple of splits there. Haynes, of course, 2 seconds behind Dane Snadden there in P6, and then you've also got Jonathan Hooper down there in P15, just behind the man on your screen, Matthew Dench, as he looks to go on the inside. Didn't quite. Probably has a little bit of PTSD from that, taking it a little safer this time by. Of course, 23 laps on this one, which will mean that our drivers will need to pit, so fuel strategy will come into play.
Unless they're Denchi.
I don't know. So if you start from pit lane, do you get to... You start from pit lane behind the exit line, so you don't get any extra fuel. Can you fuel save to 23 laps?
Who knows? Who knows?
And there he goes down the inside.
Beautifully done. Makes light work at Chuk Fung Wong. Back at the front. Oh, I tell you what, they're flirting with the lines here, aren't they? We're heading for a, well, I was going to say a sunset finish, but you're not actually going to see the sunset with the cloud cover that low. And could you imagine if we had the wet weather system available to us?
Oh.
It'd be like driving through pea soup.
Oh. I genuinely don't know how the characteristics of this car would be on wet tyres in wet weather. It already wants to kill you in the dry.
Pedersen squeezing on the inside, trying to get by Hayne. Hayne not having a bar of it.
Oh! Hip and shoulder, hip and shoulder.
Nice to meet you, Ben Pedersen, says Todd Hayne. Door handle to door handle. I like it.
Jared Knight there as well.
Clean and fair and hard. Good stuff. Joe Ball with a pit lane. Corey Lazarus, Todd Hayne, Ben Pedersen, Jared Knight, Aaron Cooper, Dane Snadden, Oscar Haynes, Paul Wilson. The top 8 at the moment. We're right on board with Jared Knight. So the HCS boys in a position here to gang up on Ben Pedersen if they wish. Down the main straight. No one wanting to come to pit lane just yet except for Joe Baldwin. It's been stationary for about 29-30 seconds. Oh, Pedersen.
That's Knight. Knight. Oh, no, they touched.
There was a lock up. There was a lock up there.
Yep.
Right, so I got caught out there because I heard the clutch come in from Knight, so I thought, okay, he's playing the fuel-saving games now too. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw Pedersen lock up and go down on the inside.
And look who's there.
Yeah.
Aaron Cooper and Dane Snadden as well. So everybody's up to tricks here. 134.940 for Corey Lazarus. Wants to lead from the front. 4.1 to the good at the moment on these guys running in the 35s and 36s.
This might be the best Porsche Cup event we've had. The racing's ridiculous, these 3 races.
I think young Oscar might have an invoice to pay by the time he gets to the end of this. He's blurting very, very much with the white lines.
There was some movement at the back there. I believe Joe has unfortunately gone on an adventure here. Oh no, he's decided that he's had enough. He pulls over to the side of the track.
Yep, Joe's on the tow road, parked up, out and done for the night. I dare say we'll hear from Joe before too long, being El Presidente. Even though we won't be too happy with how tonight's fared, I'll play it out. We'll need to have a chat to him to put a full stop on the season. Josino!
Oh
round.
no!
And
Oh
unfortunately,
no!
yeah, was that Ryan Preston
It
that
was.
he took with him there? Oh, poor man.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
So Todd Hayne in 4th place. Unlucky for Ryan Preston, he's decided to park up for the night as well. Denchi still 11th, doing Denchi things. He's now 15 seconds off the leader, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. If he's running to a number and he's able to tick those boxes, 15 seconds will come and go whilst the cars are on pit lane. Nothing to worry about just yet. Nothing to see here until such time as we watch the pit stops play out. Some of them already underway. Christian Koch on pit road right now, and Dench happy to follow Christensen and Lavis through. Lavis leading the open split at the moment. Greg made some interesting comments there about Oscar Haynes. Yeah, I think you're right. He might be in a little bit of trouble towards the end with regard to his skill points. But so too Benny Pedersen. Todd Hayne, Jared Knight will need to be careful as well. So Hayne and Pedersen coming together has been to the benefit of Jared Knight. And Denchi right there on the tail of Christensen right now. Does he look to go by Christensen on the run to turn 1 and get out after Lavis and get the toe from him? Or, well, actually, to be fair, Lavis, knowing Denchi's full well, will happily let him go.
And just have a listen. Ready?
Wow.
Huge fuel saving.
From the start finish line.
Huge fuel saving.
He's clutching at the start finish line. And he's not losing anything. It's ridiculous. The guy's phenomenal. He loves a challenge, but this is astronomical even for him. Greg Heaney, have you got the notepad out at the moment, just taking some notes as we go here?
Yeah, and Dan's recording it for me, so I can just watch it back.
I like it. Oh, this is incredible. So Denchi sitting 11th, and Lavis and Christensen will know exactly what he's doing. There's not a thing they can do to stop him either. Brisbane are going to go down at the Gabba. Collingwood are going to win tonight. They're leading with 10.5 to play, 13.785 to 9.11.65. So just updating you on how Thursday night football's playing out. Melbourne have forced game 5 in the NBL, defeating Tasmania 88-86. And in the NRL, Penrith too good for the Sydney Roosters tonight as well, to the tune of 22 points to 16. So the Roosters fought back in the end there, but the damage was done early with the Panthers leading by the margin they did. And Good Friday, of course, means we've got afternoon matches tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in both the NRL and the AFL. So plenty to look forward to this weekend. Super Rugby, A-League, NBL, all that happening. And if you like listening to sports programming and hearing people talk about it, West Bromwich Sports, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4 hours of it for you. So looking forward to that immensely. 9 of 23, 13.5 minutes in. Look at the train, gentlemen. The so many times we've seen this before. We watched this play out. Oh, hang on.
What happened to Pedersen?
Off goes Ben Pedersen. Off goes Benny Pedersen. I was just about to say, how many times do we see this, right? Jared Knight's got a little bit of a buffer over Todd Haynes. But Haynes got Cooper, Snedden rather. Then he had Pedersen for company, but Pedersen obviously is lost out in that fight now. So there's just 3 cars in that fight for third. so often we said, follow the leader, go through the motions, then play the strategy game and see where it takes you from there and get the elbows out if you have to. Chuk Fung Wong's been to pit lane, got in, got the service guide out, and is going to the checkered flag. Everybody except Dench and Fung Wong, we believe, yet to stop because we don't believe that Dench is coming to pit lane again. That's certainly the intention that he won't. And we look at the retirement list thus far. Tom Williams was a non-starter, Tristan Koch, Ryan Preston and Joe Baldwin all parked up. And Baldwin's in race control at the moment having a chat with Chapo, so I'm sure we'll hear from Baldwin after that.
I think Pedersen actually let the guys go there.
It seems like that because he just didn't turn. He drove straight off the track.
Just drove straight on. I don't think he's actually made a mistake. I think he's just like, yep, I've had enough of this, and off you go, boys.
And that's fair. Because Benny's not exactly in contention tonight. It's been one of those nights for him. So he might just be out there for survival at the moment.
So we cut back to Lazarus a little bit earlier, and I just did that just to see if he was doing any of the full saving as well, and he wasn't. He was flat stick all the way around, and the fastest lap will show that 134.93. So it's curious because none of those front guys, Jared Knight's doing it a little. I'm not too sure about Todd Hayne. Aaron Cooper generally doesn't do significant fuel saving. He tends to be a more pedal to the metal kind of guy. So I dare say at this rate, Dench will most... If Dench makes it without a pit stop, jeez, like, whoa, thanks, Dad. Good catch there,
I'll tell you what, remember a couple of weeks ago when they were, where are we, 10 o'clock, I can't say it yet, when they were whinging about the fuel saving.
That was a Sonoma.
And then Adam Lavis cheekily shaved a little bit more off the fuel tank. They'll be whinging even more if Dench can pull this off, but then again, they won't even be remotely surprised, nor will we. So 11:23, not quite half race distance. Platforms the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Thursday night motorsport, the fourth and final night of grand final week, term 1 of 2024. Look at Dench all over the back of Adam Lavis, and Lavis would be content to let him go by, but Dench will be content to sit there. Now, I don't know how this plays out, because what Dench has got to be mindful of now is if he does go by Lavis here, the next tow is 2.5 seconds up the road. So he'll be content to sit there with Lavis for as long as he can. The margin's out to 21 seconds though, so now it's starting to get a little bit ugly for Denchi, because the pit stops aren't going to be that terribly long tonight. The transit, however, long here, it is a long pit lane. And it is a tight exit. Even though you can build speed up, it is a tight exit. Collingwood going to win at the Gabba. I've mentioned that already. They're leading by 26 points at the moment, so I don't see Brisbane kicking 5 goals in 7 minutes. In the meantime, back we go. Ben Pedersen. Uh-oh. Rear end gone. Lazarus leads night second, Hayne third. Snadden Cooper off the road. Aaron Cooper's off the road. Coming out of the second sector on the run towards the... Yep, there it is.
Oh, it snapped so heavy. Oh, no.
In through the wall. Going to the end of the second sector. Just before you turn left to run up the hill, and that will be him done.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
It's broken, but it's not 100% broken. He's limping it back to pit lane currently.
He'll be able to get it back to the lane, but unfortunately, any chance he had of factoring in the results here is going to be done and dusted. Disappointment for Aaron Cooper.
Oh, Chuk Fung Won's done the same. He didn't have a snap though, so his will be much easier. Well done. Maybe not where you want to be.
No, not at all. Not at all. But at least he's not parked right in the middle of the road. But you can take evasive action from there. In the meantime, there's Dane Snadden. 4th place at the moment. You just get the feeling, is this falling into Dench's lap? 23 seconds the advantage, Corey Lazarus to Matt Dench. Matt Dench just pushing Adam Lavis along at the moment. Lavis running a 36.5, Dench a 36.8. 36.1 his best, 36.8 for Lavis last time by, and 36.8 for Dench last time by. good. Really good.
Yeah, I wonder if Lavis is doing the same type of fuel save. He tends
I wouldn't
to.
put it past him. He tends to like a fuel save, does Adam Lavis. And he'll get the idea that if Denchi's up to it, maybe I can play the same game. The pace actually has dropped out of this race. 35-1, 35-1 for Lazarus. He's consistent. 35-5 for Knight. 35-2 for Hayne. 34-8 that time around for Jared Knight. So the pace has dropped out depending upon where you are in the field, but the top two are still going for it. Really hammer and tong.
Nah, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's being aggressive there. There was no lift, no nothing, and then you could clearly see Matthew Dench was sniffing what that car had for breakfast, and then all of a sudden backed off. So yeah, Dench is going for the ultimate fuel save here.
And I tell you what, it'll be one of his greater performances if he can make it happen. Just to put the cherry, the sprinkles, the icing, everything that you could put on top of a cake, he's done some pretty freakish things in this league, in this club, on these servers before, but this would be right up there.
And do you know what else is wild? He thinks of it like when he's on the grid. It's not even like a pre-planned thing.
No,
well, we
right.
talked to him about it, and I asked. I said, "Oh, is this something that you go in, like you practice throughout the week, and you go into the Thursday going, okay, I can do this?" And he's like, "Nah, just I grid up, and I see the fuel number, and I go, I can probably do that." It's like, also, Adam Hayne here, hold on. Don't mind the fuel save game, but clutch in saving shouldn't be a thing. Clutches are strong, but not that strong. It's an iRacing issue. I can't disagree with you.
No,
can't disagree with you.
But I was going to say, no, Denchi's next level as far as that is concerned. And just the way his mind works, it's not as though he sits at home and plans his next move. As you say, it's just very much when you're in the zone and waiting to go. That's when your mind's ultra focused, committed to the task at hand, and 9 times out of 10, it works in his favour. So it's lap 14 of 23. We are not worried about anything else on the racetrack except this, because this is the only battle on the racetrack for 1, and 2, all eyes on Denchi to see if he can pull it off.
A battle might be a stretch.
Pit lane just now. Oh, that's right. It's not. It's it's just that the 2 closest cars on the racetrack at this point. It's follow the leader.
That's it.
It is a very processional, tame affair. We've had 6 races, right, tonight. We've had 6 races, but this is the tamest of the 6. This is why I call Porsche racing dessert compared to Formula V being the main course on a Thursday night. And it's been that way for a couple of seasons now. Top 7 yet to stop. Denchi technically yet to stop as well, because he raced from pit lane at the start of the race. He was there for 2.17 seconds and then got going. Zuno yet to stop, so too Pedersen. Everybody else has been down pit road.
For the last 2 laps, Denchi has been bump drafting Lavis from wherever he possibly can.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those maneuvers where there needs to be trust and faith from both parties, because if you. So Dench obviously knows how to do this really, really well. So he'll approach the back of Lavis's car with smoothness, so there won't be a jolt when he touches the back. He'll definitely feel the speed difference, but there won't be a jolt, which 1 could cause damage, and 2, if you're not paying attention, it jerks the steering wheel and you end up going too far in a direction. But it assists him in every single way, and Adam's more than happy to have a push down the main straight. The other thing that I really appreciate too about Matthew Dench is he doesn't hide any of the things he does. He's very open about it. Like if you ask him, like, "Oh, this, what's this technique?" and he'll tell you. He's not like, "Oh, well, no, nobody can know because they'll be better." It's just like he's like, "Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's bring up the talent pool." And I mean, as we've seen over the course of these races, that has been happening. Corey Lazarus, he is currently leading this race, and we've seen him do some fuel saving. What was it, Brands Hatch? Bloody hell, he was close, but unfortunately ended up getting that pit speed infringement.
Also, just touching back on the comments about the clutch and so forth to assist with the saving. Yeah, it makes you wonder if Denchi can do it with a clutch in this, how much practice has he had and how much of his method actually works, being that they took that away in the GT3s and he manages to get through an hour and a half of Spa on one stop.
Yeah. Well, you're right. The other assist that he had there is obviously 20 seconds type slower. You're burning a little bit less juice, but you're right. Just the way in which iRacing reinvents the wheel and changes the game by eliminating that assist, if you like, and he can still work a way around it. Yeah, he's a special talent. There's no doubt about that. He's 8th at the moment. He's just pushing Adam Lavis along here, who is not complaining at the moment because he is leading the open split. He is the last of the open split competitors to even consider coming to pit lane.
Adam's had it off.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Jeez. So Denchi comes through. Let's have a look at this again.
Oh, he hit the grass.
Lavis caught the grass and went deep. Lavis caught the grass and threw himself off the road. No help now for Denchi. It's all or nothing. It's all on him right now. And poor old Adam Lavis, well, we can't blame Denchi for that, but I can imagine the pressure of having Denchi all over you like a cheap suit for 5 laps would get to anybody. Thankfully, Lavis hasn't thrown away his lead in the open split yet either. 7 laps to go as Corey Lazarus completes lap 16. 1:34.667 that time around, fastest lap of the race. When are these guys coming to the lane? We're 25 3/4 minutes into the race. This is normally the window. The very end of the window.
He's unsettled.
Aaron Cooper. So now the mistakes are creeping in as well, boys. So this is where it gets interesting for the next 11 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think there was contact there when he tried to shoot through the inside. We'll have another look at that from... So here he is on the back. You'll watch him transfer across the track here. And I believe there was some contact. No, there wasn't. Aaron just locked up. Okay, so Chuk Fung Wong swerved. Pretty violently, actually, but there was no contact there. And yeah, Aaron's actually just locked up that front left. Will he go down the inside now? Yes. And oh, no! Ben Pedersen got caught out by that. Now he's off track.
He did. Yeah. Pedersen's had more off tracks than anyone else tonight. He's really not had a good run of it. It's been rather unlucky. Visibility poor at the moment. Sun setting somewhere behind the fog. We are heading towards the checkered flag. Corey Lazarus is heading on to complete another lap. That's 17. Can he go all the way? Surely not. No, Jared Knight's in. There you go. We're on the cusp of the end of the window. We're at that critical marker.
So
the critical lap in which people could pit and get home has come and gone by a long shot, but now we're at that critical point where you're about to run out of juice. So you need to pit. You need to just grab a little bit more juice to get home. Collingwood home by 20 points at the Gabba. 92 plays 72 with 26 seconds rather on the clock. And Brisbane are going to start the year none from 4. Quite extraordinary. In the meantime, we are watching Matty Dench holding down 7th. Jared Knight's got back out on the racetrack ahead, and I stress ahead of Matty Dench.
And by a good margin, yeah.
By a very good margin. So Knighty was only stationary for 6.05 seconds, and Jared Knight has got out well ahead of Matty Dench. Wow.
So
seriously ahead of Matty Dench.
I think...
So 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think... Oh, down the inside. Nice.
That's forcing the issue.
Yeah.
Well done, Jared.
I think that Matt trying to do the one stop, although it looks like he will do it, I think because of the amount of cutting he had to do to reach that number, overall pace it didn't allow him to get past the Knight, and it definitely won't allow him to get past on Lazarus. So unless he's unless he's saving to a point to allow him to go flat stick at the end, but I don't think that's how that works. So, yeah, I think he's just looking for the best finishing position he can, starting from pit lane with no pit stops.
Maybe it was a self-inflicted challenge, and self-imposed challenge on himself to just, give him something to try and achieve.
Yeah.
Give him a test, because really, what else has he got left to prove? The championship's done. Race 2 didn't go to plan. He might not win the round tonight, but at least he's going to go down swinging and keeping us entertained every step of the way. So Lazarus gets back out, 4.4 seconds ahead of Jared Knight, and Knight's ahead of Hayne now as well. So Knighty will remain second effective on the racetrack. Lazarus not going to be caught at this stage, and Dane Snadden is there as the effective race leader at the on-track race leader at the moment, but he's still yet to stop. Everybody else has been in with the exception of Denchi. Now, can Denchi still get home with 4 laps to go, or is he going to have to come in? He hasn't conceded defeat or surrendered just yet. He's still okay. 4 laps to go at the line, and unfortunately, what the first two delivered in terms of entertainment and drama, this one's lacked. And there are no real battles going on the racetrack as we speak. Lazarus on Snadden, but Snadden's still got to come to the lane. And Snadden's been able to get 19 laps out of the tank. Even Adam Wavis had to come in and stop. And he's come out 2 seconds behind his teammate David Christensen. So a change of the lead in the open split with Adam Wavis losing out to David Christensen. And Dane Snadden comes into the lane now to cleanse the field, essentially. Chapo, rejoining us, an update from race control.
Yeah, no, a bit of weight back up. Well, Joe and I were sort of having a different chat because the rest of the race has been pretty good. Yeah, so let's start with...
That's disappointing for Trucker.
It is disappointing for Trucker. Not the first time Trucker's race has ended in tragedy, unfortunately for him.
Or a debrief in race control.
Or a debrief in race control, quite frankly. So, yeah, no, caught 5 seconds for that initial one. Just like, it wasn't far enough alongside to make that move, and then was wide of apex afterwards. So, I think that's fair. He did end up behind him, though, as well. So that was sort of taken into account with it not going to a larger penalty. He also had contact with him on the start line. He sort of swung right across, and Herb has sort of swung a little bit left. But, once again, it is sort of, that was probably more just a starting incident. Just, neither of them quite looking in the peripherals quite as much. And then we've got, Todd Hayne and, was it Pedersen again? Yeah, they've been in the wars tonight, those two. So once again, Pedersen with a 5-second penalty for that one. I have to remember, what was that, lap 6? So yeah, Pedersen just going a bit deep into turn 1 there, locking up a brake and, and knocking Todd out a little bit. So, it's borderline 10 there really, going deep into that corner, but gave a little bit of lenience in the end.
Indeed.
So, but yeah, otherwise, I haven't actually watched the rest of the stream. Has it been, or is it quite down a lot?
This race has been particularly processional by Porsche standards, but they might lie them back up again. Who knows? We've only got 2.5 laps to go, though. I think time's going to get the better of us here. Benny Pedersen's parked up. He's out of the race. Christian Koch, Ryan Preston and Joe Baldwin also parked up out of the race. Denchi still going on in 4th place and 2.3 seconds up the road from Dane Snad. Denchi's still running 136.3s at the moment, still achieving the number he needs to achieve to do this on 0 stops, but nowhere near the pace he needs to be with the guys at the front end of town. 18 seconds behind Corey Lazarus, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. This guy is in the uncharted territory. He's unrivaled. He's got 9 consecutive GT3 championships, 9 consecutive Porsche championships. He's racked up statistics in this club that some could only ever dream of racking up and achieving. I mean, a GT3 championship, a GT4, sorry, a GTE rather, a GT4, etc., etc., etc. I think I like the way Adam Lavis has put that because there's just far too much to list at this point in time. The guy is next level. But Greg Heaney, it's great that he sticks around because, I mean, like Greg Favell in the supercars, Denchi here, and John Merritt in the Vs, with the benchmark there, everybody's got something to strive towards and something to work on in a bid to try and peg them back. But there is just no pegging this bloke back at the moment.
No, I think we need to figure out how we can sneak the ballast into his car before he gets it on the grid, so we can actually slow him down a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think anything less than a ton would actually achieve it at the moment. And Dave Snap
you'd
is
have
right
to put
there.
a fair bit in there. I'm wondering, do we put some money on Denchi going for the fastest lap on the last lap of the race? If he's got enough fuel left.
I don't think he's got enough fuel
Who's
for it.
taking the other side of that bet?
I'm not only because
1.02 to 1. Thank you very much.
I would not be surprised, but at the same time, like that pace just has not been there tonight for him. We'll wait and see what he pulls out. And whether Aaron Cooper can get by. Have a look at Aaron Cooper actually on Jonathan Cooper. That finally got an on-track battle. Thank Christ. Matty Dench is 19 seconds off the lead, and he's got 1.5 on Dane Snadden. So we've got to be mindful of Snadden coming onto the main straight for the final lap. White flag in the air. Corey Lazarus 1 lap from home. But we're going to watch Denty. We're going to watch Hooper and Cooper. They're the two real interest points and focus points here at the moment. Cooper down the inside. No. Gives Hooper a touch on the exit. Very nicely done. Okay, let's wait and see. Is Denchi going to go for it? I could see it happening, but I can't at the same time, just given the tightness of the fuel on this. I mean, he's keeping Snadden at bay, but it's only 1 second.
The answer is no.
And the answer is no. He's clutching halfway down the back straight.
Snadden will get him
halfway
here.
down the back straight. So so there's the answer. The 37 minutes was a bridge too far. 23 laps was just a bridge too far for Denchi, but it was worth the shot because the job was already done. He didn't have to worry about this race in the slightest. Before he parked up in pit lane and said, okay, I'm going to have a crack from here, I just thought, he might have just said, look, you guys go and have at it. I'm done. I've done everything I needed to do. There's no point left to prove. I may as well just sit back and enjoy the show. But no, he wanted to get out there and challenge himself, and that's why he is as good as he is, because he's always looking to challenge himself a little bit more each and every time he hits the racetrack. Corey Lazarus, it might not have been his night, but he finishes on a high. He hasn't had the cleanest run, the best luck tonight. He's picked up a penalty for race control along the way, but he's going to finish with a W here at the Interlargos circuit in Brazil, and Snadden is going to get by on Denchi, who is just literally coughing on fumes and hoping to get the toe here alongside Snadden on the run to the line. Have a look at that. He couldn't get him back, but it was 4 thousandths of a second. Wow. Magnificent. So yeah, Corey Lazarus, not the best season, not the best night, but certainly a nice consolation prize to finish it off with the race win there to the tune of 4.1 seconds over Jared Knight. Todd Hayne in for third, Dane Snadden fourth, edging out Denchi, who is already on the tow rope in pit lane, I might add. No fuel left to do, though, is there anything celebratory. It is a 9th consecutive championship, however, but he did get to 37 minutes without transiting the lane again. Well done. Oscar Haynes, good run from that young man in for 6th. Yes, this putt ding ding does it in auto, love it. Paul Wilson in for 7th, David Christensen winning the open split in race 3. Aaron Cooper getting the job done there on Jonathan Hooper up the hill to go 10th behind Adam Lavis too. His numbers are correct and accurate, and Adam will crunch them himself in just a moment. He's done enough to hold off Chook Fang Long and get the job done. So it's an open championship title for Adam Lavis tonight. Well done. Then we go back to Cooper, Hooper, Fang Long in 12th, and then Josh Zuno. Good to see that he was able to hang it out or persevere with it and get through to the end. Ben Pedersen, Christian Koch, Ryan Preston, Joe Paulson. The latter four being retirements from this race. Although, see, if Pedersen was patient enough, boys, and stuck around in the server and didn't disconnect, he would have got the points for 18th, or whatever that is in class, essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I'm going to count Haynes as pro, given that performance, the elite split there. 7, 8, 9, it would have been 10th in class. But anyway, doesn't matter. He parked up early, so he won't get any points. So Josh, therefore, the last of the finishers in 13th. No wonder it was a snore towards the end, boys, because the field was rather depleted on how we started the evening. Good fun. Greg Heaney, I'm going to let you go at this point in time, mate, but some final thoughts from you. I mean, it's been a great grand final week. We're not done yet. We've got the post-race show to get to. A great season. The Porsche numbers have been a little bit hit and miss. But when the racing's good, it is good. We love our GT3 racing. It's very popular in this club. And Interlargos was a great circuit to host the grand finale. That's 2 nights in a row with GT4 putting on a show here last night as well. And I personally don't think we need the wet weather, because these things slip and slide around enough to 5G when they do drop at iRacing. It is going to reinvent the wheel here in the Porsches just like it is everywhere else.
Oh, most definitely. It'll certainly it'll probably even the playing field out a little bit more, and it'll certainly have the more skilled drivers, shall we say. I'm not going to just the cream of the crop. We know who that is, but the more skilled drivers, particularly from the lower splits with the makeup of the Porsche Cup, it'll bring them to the fore like it did on Monday night in the GT3s. But I definitely think Adam Lavis is going to have to trim that fuel tank a little bit more, I think.
Only for one man, really.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, just trim it just a little bit, maybe like half a litre or something, just to push the boundaries a touch more. But I shall let you boys get on with the post-race show, and congrats to everybody and all of the winners and podium finishes and so forth like that. And I may catch some of the boys tomorrow night in the Wings and Slicks. I feel like having a run in a different car.
Good boy. Hey, mate, we appreciate your insights and your analysis throughout the course of the week. It's been great to have you on board. A safe and happy Easter to you and the rest of the team.
No worries. You too. Cheers. Catch you later.
There he is, Greg Heaney. We tick over to 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time, just going around the grounds. Panthers too good for the Roosters. Magpies too good for the Lions. Jack Jumpers go down to Melbourne in the NBL. That series goes to Game 5, the grand finale decider on Easter Sunday. Todd Haynes drops by. Sam Chapman's here. Corey Lazarus, Josh Zuno, Jared Knight, and David Christensen. We might have both A Lavis and Beck races with their 24 but performance from you, mate. A little bit of fuel saving, a little bit of a slip up there towards the end from Adam. He got a little bit squirrely down towards turn 4, and I think that's all the difference in the end for you guys. You got the better of him to the tune of 4 seconds in the open split finale there, but the team celebrating his championship. It's been a good night out.
Yeah, it has been. It wasn't really anything tactical about me coming in early. Just had Denchi sort of fuel saving behind me and Ad in front of me, so I felt kind of pancaked. So I thought I'd come in for an early stop, and yeah, it all sort of seemed to work out. Unfortunately, I had a little mistake, but yeah, credit him for the championship. It was a good season, and all the boys did really well. It was a great season actually. The Porsche Cup was fantastic.
We, as Adam Lavis now joins us actually, and we'll hear from him shortly, we can't not end this broadcast without having a chat to him with the championship now under his belt. But from your own personal standpoint, mate, we actually felt sorry for you blokes there partway through. Greg Heaney and Daniel Correa-Sar and I were highlighting to the audience at home that Denchi wasn't in your fight, but he was all of a sudden in your fight because he was taking advantage of your generosity, towing him along. So tactically for you, that was what pulled the trigger as far as your strategic gameplay was concerned, opting to come in early and top up?
Yeah, exactly. Denchi wasn't my fight, and a few times I was sort of lifting coming up to the big braking zones, and he was lifting more. So I figured he didn't want to get past. He was just looking at the fuel save, and felt very intimidating having him right behind me, and then having ads right in front of me as well. It just felt like I was a bit of a sandwich, so I just decided to remove myself from the situation, go on for an early stop, and have some clean air, which worked out well in the end.
Fuel saving did as well, because the checking dog got through to the checkered flag without having to transit the lane. But this has been a point of conjecture all season, hasn't it? Particularly Sonoma highlighting it. And I just happen to not be here for that round. But where do you sit personally with that as a bit of race strategy and a bit of gamesmanship, mate? Are you a fan of it, or are you not a big supporter of it?
Oh, absolutely a fan. Yeah, absolutely. It's all part and parcel of racing. I think if you're good enough to save the amount of fuel you need to save, which I think worked out to be 10-ish litres, maybe 11 litres. If you're good enough to do it, then you deserve the win. You deserve the points that come. I'm all for it. I think the more incentive to bring strategy into it and stuff like that, the better. From me personally.
11 litres, that's in a 23-lap race, that's just under half a litre a lap. So to give everybody some insight at home with regards to the economy of it. From your own personal standpoint, mate, I mean, obviously the Aussie Racer Stable's had a relatively good season. We've seen you top up in quite a few championships along the way. You're a new member, if I can use that term, along with Dale Sharp and a couple of others in the Aussie Racer Stable. Firstly, how are you finding working with those boys? Some of them, of course, stalwarts of this club. And how are you finding the flexibility or the adaptability, rather, the versatility of jumping from car to car every night of the week?
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah, I've been with them for not quite sure now, but maybe just shy of 12 months, but probably making more regular appearances night to night now, which is good.
That's right.
Yeah, love it working with the guys. They're all a great bunch of blokes to work with and to basically just jump on and have fun with. It's great to have them in Discord and to have everyone's different levels of voices shouting different levels of things during the races, which is great. And yeah, in terms of the flexibility, I really enjoy jumping from car to car. I don't like pigeonholing myself to one particular sort of series or one particular car. I'm sort of happy to jump in everything and give everything a go. And it's quite enjoyable and quite interesting to see how each car handles differently and sort of work out the nuances that come with it. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
On the subject of jumping car to car, I've got Josh Juno and I've got Sam Chapman here. There might be an opportunity before we get to Corey Lazarus and everybody else to drop some news with regards to next season whilst everybody's here and whilst everybody's still tuning in at home. But to finish with you, David, a couple of things here. Firstly, as far as your Porsche Cup campaign was concerned, what was the highlight of the season for you? And B, as far as the other cars are concerned, a few of them have the wet weather model in play now, and how have you enjoyed learning the craft again with wet weather thrown in for good fun?
Oh, I can't wait till they bring even more cars out suitable for the wet weather. I think it's fantastic. I hope it doesn't get overused. I hope it's not sort of every race seems like it's a wet race. I hope it's sparingly, but it's fantastic. The racing's tricky. It brings the guys that are sort of at the top end of the scale just back a little bit, and gives us sort of midfielders a chance to sort of maybe pick up a few spots or pick up a bit of time here and there, because it just sort of levels the playing field a bit. So the more the merrier in terms of how many more car models might get wet tyres and rain suitable. And in terms of the highlight, it was probably last week we had the Spa Enduro round.
For the Porsche.
For the Porsche?
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been the highlight for me. Me and Adam were pretty much sort of front to back the whole time, just sort of following each other around the track, and was sort of quite pleasing to sort of just be sort of rolling around like that, and in the end, sort of the pressure we were sort of applying to Mr. Chook forced an error, and we sort of both managed to scrape through. Adam got the win, I came in second, and it was yeah, very pleasing to sort of get an enduro around Spa and get on the podium there.
A top 5 championship result for you as well in the open split, mate. So a nice way to finish the campaign off. As far as the next couple of weeks are concerned, how do you spend Easter? Do you take some time away from the sim rig? And what are you most looking forward to when we get to the next season?
Probably winning back a few brownie points with the girlfriend. I think will be the next couple of weeks, just to make sure I can race all of next season. So that'll be first and foremost on my mind. But yeah, I'll still be on the sim. I've got the endurance championship that Josh is running to do some practice for me, and Dale Sharp will be punching out some laps for that. So we'll be doing that. And in terms of next year, I'm probably looking forward to having a full season with the GT3s with the rain model. To be honest, it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of turns out.
As long as they don't overuse it, as per your previous comment. Yes, exactly.
Please.
Mate, well done tonight. Good show. And a good effort and a nice way to finish off the campaign. Well done. Stick around though, because I want to bring in Josh and Chapo at this point in time. Boys, the committee's been hard at work. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's, getting ready to reveal the slate that's on offer for next season. Now, while we can't reveal the full makeup of the calendar and the formats just yet, we can confirm what categories are on what night of the week. We've got some good news and some bad news. Some old favourites, some mainstays are staying put, but there's a little bit of change in the air as well. Chapo, if you want to take up the front running here.
Sure. Yeah, so, there'll be a familiar feel to the start of the week. We're pretty happy with our Mondays. The V8s, the legacy V8s have been doing brilliantly. There are rumours of the new V8 coming in later in the year, so whether or not that happens later in the year, but at this point we're sticking with the old ones, with the good old Holdens and Fords. Followed by the GD3s. Similar to Tuesday, people have been really enjoying those GD1s, and after the up-and-comers, and the format of the up-and-comers we're not 100% sure on yet, but yeah, they will stay in place there. I'm happy for you to just kick off as well, Josh, or I can keep kicking along with it.
Yeah, all right. Wednesday is going to be interesting. So we have gone for a podcast style setup, except we're going to really spice it up, and we are going to roll with 5 different makes. So haven't quite locked in the last one, but I can confirm at the moment 3, I believe, the GR86, MX5 and FR500. So yeah, committee's still working out the kinks of the last one, but yeah, going to follow that up. Change in night. Oh no, not a change in night. Sorry, GT4s as the main course.
Yep. Now, just on the podcast front, those of you that have followed the GSRC from the start, around this time, 2020, of course, when we got underway, we're all locked up in our homes, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't talk to anyone, had to get commission slips, all that sort of crap. Production cars were front and centre. We would have a 10-week campaign where we'd have 5 different cars, so you'd see each car twice throughout the course of the season. Normally, it'd be spiced up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we've ever gone 2 for 1, 2 for 2, 2 for 3 in that order. I think it's always been 1 on, 1 off. So that's a familiar proven format that we've seen here before, and I think people like that for the variety and spice that comes with it, and the versatility factor. What will be interesting is the car and circuit combos, so I'm looking forward to seeing that when you guys have your calendar ready.
Yeah, that's it. Just leading in.
I just want to, sorry, just before you go on, mate, obviously the Toyota 86 series as a whole has been good, but it'll be therefore benched, I take it, for this next season. But I guess the biggest change is the main course on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll bring Friday into the mix. It has been wings and slicks for quite a long while. And we've decided to actually move into a whole Formula night. So we'll call the Formula V a Formula car, even though it's a canoe, most nights. But so that we're going to leave that as the opener and lead into the Super Formula lights for the main course. So this is a great new platform. I think a lot of the members already have it, and it has rain model, so it ticks all the boxes. It's slightly quicker than the F3, so yeah, it should still be close battles, and yeah, I don't know, will not be a threat, Zach. It's gonna be awesome.
I was going to say, the club nearly went to punt Formula V on a Thursday night, and that probably would have been met with my resignation from Thursday night. And so I'm really glad that someone within the ranks here fought to keep Formula V's on the Thursday night. Well done.
I'm taking credit for that one, Zach.
Good boy.
I don't give much for it. I thought we can't take Formula V away from you.
Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
No, not after tonight. And
maybe Porsches we can take away from you. Not me.
No. And actually looking forward to seeing Super Formula in the main course as well, because traditionalists and long-time followers will remember when Friday nights were IndyCar nights. So I've had some experience commentating those longer open Formula races. Looking forward to seeing what Super Formula Light brings to the table. Friday night on that note looks very different to what it's ever looked like.
You want this one, Chapo?
No, because I don't know anything about SRX, so I'm going to leave that one to you.
Well, you just saw the headline. Go on, Josh.
No, yeah, Chapo nailed it. So SRX, but look, we're actually moving to stream 4 nights as well. So on the side of this, the SRX is going to be Friday nights, and Mr. Trucker Joe, El Presidente, is going to be streaming it. So he is running this one, and he's looking to spice it up with as many track variations as the car can handle. I even heard there might be jumps, but that can't be confirmed yet. We'll see how we go with that.
Now, so you've just got cat out of the bag. Friday night is one of the nights that's returning to streaming. So Friday Night Motorsport is back, and in a move that will make Chris Whitaker and Trent Wavis very happy, Wednesday nights will be front and centre as well, and that is thanks to Daniel Correa picking up the freight there and doing an extra night. So Monday, Thursday night, I'm going to stay on deck. Wednesday night, one of the old originals as far as this booth is concerned, Nick Fodiatis is going to jump in with Daniel Correa, and we're looking forward to that. So you're going to have the entree being the production cars, the main course being GT4, and that's unfortunate because I know Nick Love's running his GT4, so he's obviously opting to have a steer of something else for the season. I'll pick up the freight if he wants to have a run, don't worry about that, on the weeks where I'm available. No, that'll be an awesome return to the broadcast for GT4. Again, a lot of people don't appreciate that this takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and it doesn't happen without the great supporters that we have on the platforms with GSRC. We've thanked them a few times already tonight. We'll do it again before we leave. And of course, I don't think people realise just how much it takes out of us, both physically and mentally, in terms of the amount of hours that we dedicate to it. And the committee and the two broadcasters, Daniel and Adam, spend a lot more time at it than I do. I turn up maybe 15 minutes prior to the broadcast. I leave 15 minutes after my work's done. But the guys here, they're always planning overlays, graphics, intros, outros, all that sort of stuff. So that you guys at home have the best viewer experience possible as far as sim racing anywhere in the world is concerned. And of course, the committee work tirelessly behind the scenes to put a good schedule together to entice the members to stick around or keep coming back at one or the other, or entice new people to join the fold. And we mentioned last night that the numbers are on the rise yet again, which is really good to see. But I mean, it's obviously the end of an era, and we'll mention that shortly for the Porsche, because it's been a mainstay and Denty's dominated it for the last 9 seasons. I think that's why it's being parked. Actually, everyone's just sick of the Matty Dent show on a Thursday night. But in saying that, it is exceptional what he's achieved in the last 9 seasons. Obviously, the Toyotas. The good thing is that we've got so many categories to choose from, and you guys at committee level, you have an unenviable task of trying to please everybody and trying to spice it up enough to keep it interesting. And the good thing about all these categories that are being shelved or interchanged season term on term is that there's always the option to fall back and bring them back into the schedule somewhere down the line.
Exactly, and that's what I would expect will happen at some point with Porsche Cup. You know, we've seen it before with series, right? That they, you know, they lose numbers over time, and then you take a season off, and suddenly it's all back, and everyone's excited again. Exactly. So, you know, sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone. So we'll try a season off the Porsches and try a few more things, because there are so many different cars that we have, and you know, when we're looking through the poll that went out to members at the end of last year as to what they wanted to see, one of the things was, you know, and it was really borderline with the 86s, was the F4 or F3. So that's why we ended up going, you know what, let's give this a shot. Let's put that new car that has got brilliant reviews into that slot and see how it goes. And I think it'll be good, but I'd expect those with the Porsches will be back on the platforms at some point.
I would expect so as well. Righto, and of course, Mountain Men remains, the V8 Oval Series remains, and of course, the Enduros remain. Everything else remains where it was, but our prime time offering, Monday, Tuesday nights, exactly the same, Thursday's entree the same, Wednesday's main course the same, everything else has had a little bit of a spice up. But the new term, which starts April 15. Boys, thank you for the moment. Feel free to hang around as we continue the post-race show here, and apologies to the Porsche guys for holding them up a little bit here, but I wanted to get that out while everybody was still tuned in. Let's talk to HTS Stable if we can right now, and also Corey Lazarus. I might start with Corey actually, because that was an interesting night for you, let's be fair. And the other reason we're going to talk to you is because you got the initials NZ next to your name, and it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning in that part of the world. So I don't want to, even though it's a long weekend and New Zealand observes Good Friday the way we do, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. In saying that, what a great night at the office. Well done. Okay, race 2, copped the penalty. Some of the races didn't necessarily go to plan, but clear real estate, clear air, and a clean run in race 3, and you put a full stop on the season with a race win, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Just really quickly, I just wanted to apologise to Sam for race 2. My little outburst over the comms, it shouldn't have been done, so sorry, Sam, mate. And yeah, look.
Oh, there's been a few of them tonight. Don't worry, you're not on an isolated incident.
Okay, yeah. My race 1 and 2 just had an absolute shocker. Like, obviously, everybody saw off the start of race 1, just dropped the clutch too fast, and then race 2, my closing speed on the slower cars leading into some of the corners just caught me by surprise, and I ended up, making a couple of mistakes due to that, not expecting them to be, closing up so quickly. They're trying to take evasive action, so that ruined essentially any hope of a win in race 1 and 2, and then race 3 was much better.
Indeed. What do you make of the transfer of conditions? We had foggy conditions for qualifying, race 1 and 2 remarkably clear, and then all of a sudden the fog came back. It didn't look too bad visibly from the onboard, but from the spectator vantage points it looked like hell. What are you making of the Tempest weather system? We can't deploy it fully in the Porsches for obvious reasons just yet, but at least we're getting a taste of it.
Excuse me. It was quite good actually. Having those different conditions. The fog certainly made it harder to hit certain break points or track markers on Apex for sure, but comfortable with the conditions. It was good fun. I liked the fog, it was quite good.
And obviously we know what Denky was trialling, he was up to his usual tricks, but it didn't look like there was any point in you blokes trying to fuel save tonight. he could afford to do that. You guys, however, had racing round on us to try and sort out and also try to improve finishing positions in the championship. But still, Denchi remains the benchmark here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's quite well known how myself and my teammates feel about the fuel-saving part of the race. I just like to race and not have that fuel-saving component. So the sprint races are great fun when you're actually dicing with people, you know, not holding anything back. So no point in me trying to even bother fuel-saving in that last one. It was just go hell for leather. And of course, yeah, big congrats to Matty for the championship, just Mr. Consistent and the fastest guy on the track all season.
Indeed he was. What's your takeaway from the season that was, mate? Obviously, no point asking about next term because the Porsche's going to be parked up for a little bit. So I guess it's a twofold question. What are your takeaways from this season, and where will you go racing on the platforms of the GSRC next term? Might we see you in a Porsche in GT3 on a Monday night?
Excuse me. No, the Cup cars. The whole reason I got into iRacing to start with the end goal obviously being PESC. So that's the only car I drive. It's the only car I have driven, you know, committed to. So it is like a 24/7 sort of thing for me. Exaggerated, obviously, but yeah, that's it. Yep. That's where we're going. So yeah, I'll sit out until they come back, and there's other leagues I'm racing in Europe. We've got Apex and UKSR, AOG starting up again soon, so I'll be in those 3 Porsche Cup leagues. But yeah, I'll be tuning in, watching Sam and Shep in the GT3s next season for sure.
Shep was impressive on Monday night, albeit without all the luck in the world, but no, looking forward to seeing what the guys bring to the table next term. That's interesting that you say that, mate, because there's a lot of people, I mean, obviously I'm not sure what the racing landscape's quite like in New Zealand, what's the most popular thing over there, but a lot of people either get into this thing for, especially in this part of the world, for the supercars or for the GT3. So what is it about the Porsche that drew you in the first place? Why is that the go-to car for you, if you don't mind me asking?
I've just always had a love for the Porsche. Just, I don't know, since I was young, I've just loved it. And then before I had it, my friend who had one sort of gave me a challenge. Like, if you get last in this car, like 2 laps without spinning out, then, you know, you can have a go. And I went half an hour without spinning out in my first ever go in the Cup car. Just loved it. So I loved it from the outside and not having anything to do with it. And it's just carried through to driving it. I love it. I don't have an I like watching the supercars and, you know, a plethora of other motorsports. But once I found out, once I knew, sort of before I committed to iRacing, that there was actually a big end goal achievable on the world stage in this car, well, that was just signed, sealed, delivered. So that's the goal, and that's where the focus is.
And it's certainly been, I mean, this is the first season I think the Porsche sat out since we introduced it, term 3 at 2, well, it was only a 3-term season, 2020, but the last term of 2020 when the Porsches debuted. And I think this will be the first time that it's sat out a term since. So it's been a nearly 4-year run for these cars on these platforms. They're hugely popular. They put on great racing. The only thing I'm disappointed about, I mean, a change is as good as a holiday, allegedly. The only thing I'm disappointed about is now that there's a seriously long wait for Denchi to come back and claim title number 10 on the trot. However, Corey, in saying that, there were times this season where he was picked up and challenged. You guys slowly but surely chipping away at him and trying to keep him honest and trying to reel him in. Does the break-in championships here help you guys that are regular in the Porsches while Denchi goes and plays in GT3s and other things? Does this help you guys in any way, shape or form try and bridge the gap?
Yes, I think it does. I mean, it's been evident from 2022 when we first started how much of improvement there has been from when we first started. You know, we were running back in the pack back then up to where we are now, and been racing in other leagues from around the world where there are guys, you know, so much faster than what I am at the moment, and competing with them regularly only makes you stronger because you get to learn from faster guys. So yeah, I can absolutely guarantee the next time the Porsches come back, I'll be faster again.
Excellent.
So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. You know, I don't know how many times Dentchy was sandbagging this year in Quali, but you know, I would dare say the ledger when we were both trying is probably 50-50 in Quali. So I'd like to think our one lap speed is relatively equal on a Quali setup. And there were a few races this year where I claimed the fastest lap and he didn't, and vice versa. So yeah, look, the gap's closing. I've been saying the gap's closing for a little while, but it is true, the gap's closing.
It is true. Absolutely, it is. Yep.
Hopefully next time it comes back. Look, to be fair, I really just don't like the fuel saving races, so I probably will sit them out again when they come back. If it was just a season of like hardcore sprint racing, then I'd probably commit to the full season.
All right, very nice and honest analysis from you, my friend. All the best for Easter and what's ahead, and we look forward to having you back on deck as a racer of the club when the Porsches return somewhere down the line later in the year.
Thanks guys, appreciate it, and you guys put on a really good show, and always watch the streams back and get some good enjoyment from the banter and all that. And also, Zach, just quickly, I only live 40 minutes up the road from you, dude. You're in Ipswich, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, so you, even though there's an NZ there, what's the go?
Well, it's actually supposed to be the NZ flag next to my name, which shows up in all the Discord yards.
Yep.
I don't know why the initials are there, but yeah, I'm in Brizzy. I'm going up to Coolum tomorrow for a week with the family, and yeah. What are you guys doing for Easter?
Okay, so I'm not actually keeping you up at all because it's just gone past dinner time over here. Okay, given the 1 hour and 112 year delay to the rest of the Eastern Seaboard, that's good to know, Corey, for future reference, mate. Thank you. But in saying that, mate, Easter's relatively quiet for me. Work Saturday morning and then put the feet up and enjoy the footy and whatnot for the rest of the weekend. Coolum's a lovely part of the world. You'll love that. I've been up there quite a few times over the last few years. Never stayed as a visitor, more up there. Did a little bit of work with the motocross club up there before they got turfed out by landlords and developers and whatever else. But no, make sure you do enjoy your Easter break, and then obviously good luck with the racing beyond that as well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you when we see you.
Indeed, we will. All right. Corey's thrown me a little bit of a dummy there because, as I said, I was put off by the NZ. I know it is applicable. We do have some members based in NZ, Corey not one of them. Let's get to Todd Hayne and Jared Knight. So it's interesting, we often talk about New Zealand being the cousin of Australia, the seventh state, if you like, and the amount of expats over here and over there, vice versa. Greg Ruff, of course, the most famous Aussie living in New Zealand at the moment. Further evidence of that. Jared Knight and Todd Hayne, gentlemen, well done. A very solid night at the office. Second and third round. Todd, quite an entertaining night out. A race win in there, and then, I mean, you had to work hard for third in that last race. What was it, 6th in race 1 might have been the Achilles heel though. However, in saying that, a solid hit out to end the campaign, and I believe it's going to be good enough for second in the championship, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, Zach. Yeah, race 1 was a bit of a tough race because we got turned there at turn 1, lap 1, so ended up at the rear of the grid.
Right, yes.
So I had to fight my way back, and the sea seemed to part on the way back and managed to fight back up 6, which gave me a really good starting spot for second race, and yeah, sort of just ran away with that and controlled that. And then the third race with the fog, it just sent my car understeering. I didn't have the pace to fight, unfortunately.
And that's an interesting point now, isn't it? Because it's okay to have a setup for the drive, but some people at home won't appreciate just how changeable conditions can affect a car's performance, and also, I guess, the handling and the setup required to be at the pointy end around here.
Yeah, 100%. It makes a big difference. The track, the coverage, cloud cover and UV on the track and all that sort of stuff makes it different. So, yeah, no, it just turned the car a bit understeering. I hated the car, so I really struggled.
the three-race format, are we a fan of that? I mean, the invert top 10 in the second race worked well for you. Your thoughts on this format as opposed to the other three that we've got throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, I love the sprint race. Get in and have three hard-fought battles, and that means 3 standing starts. It's been a real pain in my backside for the whole season, but I got them right tonight. So, I love it. I love having a good fight, no fuel saving. Yeah, going hard. And
what about your teammate keeping Dempsey on us for 9 1/4 laps in the opening race, and then arguably one of his better runs in the Porsche all season?
Yeah, Jared was super quick tonight. Yeah, incredible. Good to watch. He's very, very quick. He doesn't put as much practice as I do, so I hope he doesn't practice, because I think if he practices, I might be in a lot of trouble for not for next season. It's not happening now, but
no.
But for when they come back.
That is my next question. With that news just revealed, and we wanted to do it so that you Porsche drivers knew before anybody else, really. Where do you ply your trade next season? Do you come and join us on a Monday night?
Yeah, I'll have a bit of a look around the gents. I'll probably come in, have a few races on Monday night, and I don't know, might try some open wheelers somewhere. I'll have a bit of a look and see. I'll be around somewhere.
And only one member of the Hayne family on the grid tonight. We believe the other one's just a little bit still sore and sorry, but on the mend.
Yeah, he's a bit of a sook, but no, he's had a pretty big operation, so yeah, he's fairly sore and doesn't want to push it too hard. So yeah, bit of a good to have him around, and good to have him there to battle with. Yeah,
Indeed.
Good to see him back on the sim soon.
Absolutely. And from a team standpoint, HTS flying strong at the moment.
Yeah, HTS is really growing in numbers and in performances at the moment. So yeah, really happy with where the team's going.
And now that we put tools down for the next 2.5 weeks, how do you spend the time?
I don't know yet. Probably just have a bit of a relax, actually, and I might play some COD or something like that, and yeah, find something else to race. Maybe some few officials.
Yep.
Get used to the rain.
Must have been nice as well, mate, last week to get the job done at Spa and make the jump start at Brands Hatch a distant memory. But really, when I look at your season, I'd say they're the two biggest standout talking points, the two biggest highlights. But what else do you take away from the campaign?
Spa was definitely the highlight of the season. Jump start was definitely the very, very lowest of the season, but I just enjoyed learning how to drive the car. It's a hard car to drive, and it goes against my driving style, so I'm learning a lot driving the car. That's probably the biggest highlight.
And really, that's probably the only way to test yourself and keep things interesting here. I mean, a lot of people would just turn up and do the same thing because it's comfortable. Wash, rinse, repeat almost. You're applying your trade at something that you're learning on the go, that is a different sort of angle for you to take. As you say, it's not your normal driving style. And that brings with it its own challenges, both mentally and otherwise. But it's nice to see someone wanting to test themselves and challenge themselves. Dempsey's doing it in fuel-saving ways, you're doing it in this way.
Yeah, 100%. You don't get any better if you don't challenge yourself, so yeah, that's why I jumped in the car for this season, and I'll probably stick with the car for a while now too, and I might try to find another couple leagues to jump in, but yeah, I think I'll jump back to the GT3 cars now and see if the variants from Porsche Cup cars help GT cars.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting comparison. Remind me to ask you about that in a few weeks' time after a couple of outs in the GT3. Hey, mate, safe and happy Easter to you and the rest of the crew. We're going to talk to your teammate now and then to Adam Lavis and then put a full stop on it. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you, fellas, for the broadcast and everything that everyone within Gents has done. It's been a really fun season, so yeah, thank you.
Now, just having a look here at some points updates that are coming in. It looks as though our good mate Adam Lavis has finally put the full stop on the Porsche Cup standings tonight, so I can reload the document and bring you up to speed with that. I think I'm right in saying, at least the elite split, not so much the open, but would you believe it, the internet wants to play up right about now at my end, so we'll just wait for that. Stand by. Let's bring Jared Knight into the conversation at this point. Knighty, probably some of the best Porsche racing you've seen from you. We know you've got a love-hate relationship with this car, but that was brilliant tonight, to the point where you had Denchi within your reach on the ragged edge to turn one. Unfortunately, a little bit of hip and shoulder, and he ended up not just losing first, but also second as well.
Yeah, it was a bit kind with the redress there. Unfortunately, gave the spot to Corey. But yeah, far out. The gloves are off tonight with the boys. It was some great racing in all three races, and yeah, probably the best overall night I've had in this car for a very long time. So yeah, it was really enjoyable.
And that, I mean, even though it's the nemesis that is the Porsche is going to be put in the garage now for a little while for you, to go out with a confidence-boosting night like that, where everything seemed to go right for you, with the exception of that little bit of a bobble at turn one, that must fill you with a little bit of satisfaction, mate, after persevering with it through a rather frustrating 10 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, the car just sort of suited me tonight. It was a little bit different to Todd. I felt like the setup sort of struggled in that second race, and but yeah, sort of race 1 and 2 was really good. But yeah, we'll keep at it while it's been put in the trailer for next season for gents, and yeah, we'll definitely attack it when it comes back eventually.
How do you find the transitional conditions there, going from clear blue, beautiful sunshine skies to fog cover heading towards sunset, mate?
No, any race driver loves no UV on the track and the track temp plummeting, because it gives you a little bit more performance. So yeah, I wasn't too bothered with the visibility and the fog. You sort of get a bit of tunnel vision and just looking between those two white lines, and then yeah, that's anything else is yeah, not really relevant.
Not at all. When we look at the season that was, I think I can tell everybody now, 585 for Denchi, 467 for Todd, 418 for Dane Snadden. What about that? 7th, 6th and 4th tonight to wrap up third. Paul Wilson only 18 points back on 400. Then you on 371, holding off Corey Lodge at 353 and Jonathan Hoot at 262. Sebastian Spicer wasn't on the grid tonight, nor was Taylor Dorado or Trent Allen, but they wrapped up the top 10, and Aaron Cooper was only 4 points outside on 195 points. The round, 112 to Corey Lazarus, 107 to Jared Knight, 101 to Matty Dench, 99 to Todd Payne, making up the top 4. So Denchi wins it by 118 points. 90, just to put a full stop on the Porsches, mate, I don't want to hold anyone up too much longer because it's pushing 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time on an Easter Thursday. And to be fair, it's been a punishing sort of day for most people, because if you had to go to the shops, you would have realised that people were raiding the shelves because they're shut for a day. And that was a frustrating way to start the day for yours truly. I'm never doing that again before a cup of coffee. However, it could not move in Coles in there. That was ridiculous. However, how do you spend the next 2 weeks, and what are you going to apply your trade at now to fill the gap left by the absence of the Porsches, mate?
Yeah, not too sure what I'll do over the next couple of weeks. I think we'll probably definitely sit out the Monday and Thursday nights, but we probably won't drop out of the sim completely. We'll probably just take up some officials and stay a bit fresh, because it's not an overly long break. And next season, I'm not 100% sure. I'll definitely stick with the GT3s on Monday nights, but sort of beyond that, I'm not too sure whether. I had having the run in the GT4s for the first time this season. That was forgot how enjoyable they were to drive until my wheelbase stopped working. So
I remember you saying that last night. That would have been disappointing.
Just the connection between my wheel and wheelbase. There's something faulting there, so it wasn't allowing me to shift. So decided to put that one in the queue rack. But yeah, I'm not too sure. We may dabble in that, or might try a hand in some of the open wheelers on Thursday.
Right, very nicely done. And when are we going to see you back on track in that go-kart of yours?
We actually took it out yesterday for a bit of a spin.
Good.
And,
well, half you like having a Wednesday key.
yeah. So did a few runs down at Picton, and she was zipping around yesterday. So made a couple of adjustments to the rear, and found a bit of time. And but yeah, I'd like to run Wagga next week, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll probably aim for Eastern Creek in May. It's always a big race. Usually a grid of about 40 carts. So wait for that.
The close proximity does help for a lot of people.
Yeah, sure does. Yeah.
Not too many people willing to venture out into the sticks. Or not as many, rather. Mate, well done. Great performance from you this season. I think the first two races were the highlight tonight. That third one, I mean, essentially, one lap shorter than the distance of the first two races. It really dragged out into a little bit of a procession towards the end, didn't it?
Yeah, I think just looking on screen here and just sort of sitting behind this battle and just let Corey sort of drive away a little bit. And I was actually matching times with Corey towards the end, so if I didn't sort of have a couple of poor laps early and get stuck behind these guys, might have been a bit of a closer race. But all in all, Corey was rapid tonight, so thoroughly deserved that first place in the last race.
And then poor old Benny Pedersen, a moment in race 1, a moment in race 3, and I'm not sure how he fared in race 2, whether that was the only one that was any sort of good for him. There's that moment there, actually. The seat kind of parting for Jared, through on the inside. Perfectly timed. But yeah, Pedersen on his night had great pace, but just didn't have much luck throughout the course of 70 minutes of racing. Nighty, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. A safe and happy Easter to you and everybody.
Yeah, you too, Zach, and yeah, thanks to all the guys behind the scenes, all the committee, Daniel and Adam for their broadcast efforts. Always put on a good show, and good to watch back.
I don't think there's anything happy about mine. I'm sitting short on a 1 hour delay, for Christ's sake. But nonetheless, we'll press on. Good on you, Nighty. Thank you, mate.
See you, mate.
Adam Davis, let me bring you in at this point in time because I want to alert everybody's attention to the open split of the Porsche Cup and the fact that you did get the job done. 589 played, Chook Fung Wong's 542 and Blake sits back on 403. He didn't race tonight. Brown winner David Christensen 112 points, you on 103, Chook on 100. Really, Chook was the only one you needed to worry about, mate. You kept him at bay. I mean, he looks like topped the penalty there in race 1. So a third, a second for you, and 8th, a first and a third for him. And the job is done, mate. Another championship in the purse. Well done.
Yeah, it was getting pretty tight there. Chuck had massive pace for about 3 rounds in a row there in the middle of the season, where he was basically running up with the open guys, challenging for top 5s. So yeah, we got to a point there where we thought, well, he's basically almost guaranteed, because he was almost guaranteed pole and fastest lap for the last few rounds, and that was basically just that in itself was going to eat out my lead. So last week was sort of the pivotal point there. I think he changed some tyres, and it's basically got the car in a stable when he's made a blue and let me and David pass, and he wasn't able to get us back, and that had a big swing in the points, and had the pressure on him tonight. And he was still at his pace. He was still good. He didn't have the pace advantage tonight, but he was still definitely on the pace for the rest of us. And just we made a couple of mistakes, and all I had to do was try and keep it clean and keep it smooth, and pick up another gold plaque.
Indeed. Another one for Kitty, another one for the Aussie Racers stable. What were your thoughts in that third race there, mates? I've got to ask you about two things. One, the pressure from David Christensen, who went on and got the job done, of course. But then secondly, the fact that you had Denchi stalking you for a good while and just poking you along until such point as you took the grass and headed off. Was it the pressure of having Dench that close to your clacker that got you, or was it just a lapse in concentration?
Well, it wasn't really pressure because I knew, like, me and David figured what Denchi was doing, and like, because it was like probably 4 or 5 laps before I touched the grass, I went a little deep into the last corner, and he could have easily passed me down the straight, but he chose to stay behind. So I was like, oh, that's where he wants to be. That's where he's going to stay. So if he doesn't want to pass you, he's just going to sit there and push you along. So yeah. It wasn't too bad because he was basically bump drafting me anytime I made a little blue out of the corner. So he was basically helping me with if I made a mistake, he was helping me fix it. So it wasn't too bad of a thing. I just basically misjudged the width of the car there and just touched the grass, got a little squirrely, and rather than trying to make the corner, pulled it up and played it safe. The only thing is, like, it was one of those things, like, I probably would have been more annoyed if I was still on 0x, but I had a weird clip of the curb just to this next corner earlier in the race where apparently I found like a hole in the curb which launched the car and gave me a 1x. So it was all good. Just to let him go, and then he was off for the races and doing his thing. So yeah, it was more or less with David. That same mistake also cost me the lead to David because I lost about 2.5 seconds, and after the pit phase, David came out 2.2 seconds ahead of me. So we probably would have come out side by side with a battle down to the corner if I didn't make that mistake. But yeah, he deserved to win. He had plenty of pace last week. He had an incident, and he managed to come all the way back and catch me up again. So pace-wise, David was there and definitely deserved the win tonight.
All right, very nicely done. I can't let you go without getting a quick comment from you with regards to your take on the new schedule for one, and B, just how frantic and hard-fought and entertaining the Formula V races were, mate. You were right in the thick of it.
You know, every time Phillip comes to the V's, you know it's going to be very stressful. Because it's just one of those things. You're putting rather than putting your trust into one guy, you got to put your trust into 3 or 4 guys at once, and any one of those can cause a big thing. So luckily there was a couple of times where there was a few times there tonight where I was behind guys and they interlocked wheels for a good 1 to 2 seconds before they actually make contact, so you can see it happen. And I was like, I'll just back out of this, and then whoop, off they go. So there was a couple of times where they were nice enough to give us a bit of a warning they were going to go. But yeah, it's still just it's one of those things. It's that track, like, it's, as I was saying to the boys in the chat, it's like with Phillip and the V's, the top guys have probably got a higher chance at winning because they're most likely going to be towards the front. But given the way that track and the V's work, everybody in that server had a chance of some sort to win a race there.
Yeah, as proven by the great performance of Phil King in the opener as well. The thoughts on the new schedule, mate, because obviously the Porsches is one of those things that you get behind the wheel of. That option's being taken away. Will we see you in Super Formula Light? Where else are you going to pop up as far as racing is concerned, given that you won't be broadcasting Wednesday, Thursday night, then you're taking that weight off your shoulders?
I'll still be racing. Like, I haven't driven the Super Formula Light yet, but given how good I'm going in the Super Formula Big Boy, theoretically that should hopefully translate. So hopefully next season we might actually see me a bit more towards the front on the main event. So, but obviously there's going to be some more guys that turn up that are really quick. So that's always going to throw a spanner in my plans. But yeah, the Formula cars for some reason over the last sort of six or so months have really suited my driving style. So I've found a lot more success in the Formula style cars, which I didn't really have like a year or so ago. Especially the F3. The F3 I struggled hard trying to do official stuff a couple of years ago. But last time we did it for a season, I was right up there and battling with the Vermilion boys, and they were really. It was really interesting because they're really hard on their tyres and go hard, go fast. I was a bit nicer on tyres and I come back at the end of the race. So there's a very different way we tackle the race, but we come together at the end and see who come off with the best strategy for each particular track. So should be a good thing next season. And yeah, production cars is always fun, bit of a challenge. 5 cars. It'd be interesting. What'll be interesting to see is if the Whitakers decide to do the double for the night, because obviously Brendo's the reigning production cars champion. As much as Whitaker, as much as Chris probably doesn't appreciate that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
And of course, Chris was second last night in GT4 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was second because that's the production cars last time we ran him was the one time Brendo's got up on Chris legit, because the only other time was I think it was TCR, but Chris didn't run the season, so that's the first time Brendo got him on pace with they were both competitive the whole season. So it'd be interesting if they do the double, because obviously I'm sure they'll be back for GT4s as well. So Wednesday's definitely a good night. Hopefully we're trying to see if we can get a broadcast of that as well. So. Hopefully it'll be a big, busy night, busy weeks, and lots of entertainment for the people at home, and lots of entertainment for the guys on track.
And of course, it doesn't stop in the meantime either, because we've still got an enduro to get to. We've still got some club races coming up over the next couple of weeks, but our prime time offering does take a little bit of a spell over the Easter holiday period, and we are immensely grateful for the opportunity to recharge the batteries here to get ready to fire again come Monday, April 15. I think just a quick nod on the way out, firstly to our broadcasters, Daniel Correa and Adam Lavis. Also, I know Chapo's helped out on that front with the Enduros. Grant Gills even made a cameo this season as well. Everybody banded together to make that happen. Big props to you guys. Well done to Joe Trucker Baldwin, the rest of the GSRC committee for a solid offering throughout the course of the opening term. The club's in a good place at the moment, in really good hands at the control of guys that live, love and breathe this caper, dedicate their own spare time to it. It's a thankless job at times. There was even one point where race control had to mute the entire server tonight in Formula V. That's how heated that was. But no, well done to everybody at committee level for making this happen, to everyone that sponsors the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, because put simply, without that backing, none of this would happen to the extent that it does, especially the broadcast. And a big thanks to all the drivers for putting on such a great show each time we go on air and each time they hit the circuit. And a massive prop to all those at home that tune in Mondays and Thursdays, and this week Tuesdays and Wednesdays as well, to tune in and enjoy all the action with us, who, let's face it, we're lucky enough to have the best seat in the house. We love the job. We wouldn't be here if we didn't enjoy it, put simply. And I think the other thank you needs to go to all the drivers that give us their time after a stressful night in the cockpit to come and have a chat post-race. That's why these post-race shows go out towards 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in Grand Final week. And on that subject, Grand Final week is, from a broadcast standpoint, done and dusted, over and out. It has been a great amount of fun to bring it to nearly 15 hours of broadcast this week, and a good excuse for us now to put the hand up and say, see you in a couple of weeks, because we've done a little bit of overtime this week. We've well and truly earned the break that awaits us as soon as I finish wrapping up here. And just repeating, well done to John Merritt, well done to Adam Lavis, well done to Matty Getch, the 3 champions that we crowned tonight. Well done to all the different race winners throughout the course of the evening as well. That was great fun. Some seriously good racing there throughout the course of the evening that's kept us highly entertained every step of the way. And again, a big thanks to Waste Options, to Spreyton Cider, to Player One Sim Loadsy Racing, M-Wave Australia and Flash Graphics for their ongoing support of the platforms of the GSRC throughout the course of Term 1 of 2024. Let's have a look ahead, because there's still a couple of things coming up. The Super Formula Grand Finale is tomorrow night. Make sure you, if you've been running that series and you've been involved in that, make sure you don't miss this. They're off to Suzuka, 3-race format, reverse grid second race, top 10 in the third race, mixing it up. That format looks like it's coming to Formula V next season. We're excited. GSRC wins and foots, wraps up the Super Formula from Suzuka tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Mount Panorama Saturday night with Super Formula Lights, our first real taste of them. Race start 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Joe Baldwin looking after that. 50 laps the journey instead of 200 kilometres, down 300 kilometres for Easter Saturday. That'll be good fun. And the final round The GT1 Civil War comes here from Mount Panorama Bathurst on Tuesday night. It was held over this week because the up-and-coming grand finale, Tuesday night, 2nd of April, 8:25 Eastern Daylight Time. They'll be heading for a checkered flag around 10 p.m. And the only other bit of racing we'll do between now and, of course, the second term getting underway, well, the Sunday night offering, I'm not sure what's going on there this week, but there should be an Oval V8 race up on the GSRC service for those that have committed to that championship. There'll be more details available in the internal service. And of course, next Sunday, the baby of Josh Dudo, Sam Chapman and Daniel Correa-Sar and everybody else that's involved, the GSRC Endurance Championship, the second round, as the teams and drivers head to the Suzuka circuit in Japan, right in line, symmetry, in sync with the Japanese Formula One Grand Prix. So just a reminder for anyone that's planning on racing that's the morning that Queensland says Happy New Year, because we will have daylight saving ending in progressive and civilised parts of the country. So it'll only be a 2-hour time difference between the east and the west coast. And Josh, you might be able to confirm race start time there, mate, because I believe it's a 6-hour race. So will it be an earlier start, or will it be still 12 o'clock?
Yeah, so basically with the 6-hour races, we're aiming to finish at 5 p.m. So 2 hours
11 a.m.
free.
start.
Yeah, so we'll go for an 8-hour serve with a 5 p.m. finish.
Right, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, then 9 a.m. in the west. So no real change there, because it was a 12 p.m. start, 9 a.m. in the west last time round. So get up and enjoy your breakfast, then get in the rig and go. Essentially for those of you in the west, and for everybody in the east, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Central. And then of course, Monday, April 15, we launch into Term 2 on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, with all of the action from the supercars and the GT3s, and we will wait to surprise you with where and what in terms of venue and format and weather conditions when we reconvene on the 15th of April, because the club is still working away at calendars as we speak, and I look forward to seeing them before April 15, just wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Adam Lavis. That's it from us. We are done on a grand final night. I've heard from Sam Chapman, Josh Duno and Adam Lavis, but Daniel Correa-Sar, to be wrong to be your broadcast without getting a final word from you, my friend. It's been nice to share the booth with you on a Thursday night throughout the course of the season again, and we'll do it again in Term 2, but it's nice also to be taking a break for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100%. I quite enjoy doing the broadcasting side of things. It's been a hobby for a while, so it's nice to be able to put some effort into trying to bring that to the masses here at the GSRC. But yeah, mate, I'm falling asleep in my chair, so 2-week break, bring it on.
Yeah, exactly. And if I'd have known you were falling asleep in the chair, I would have tried to wrap up a couple of minutes earlier for you. But we're going to let you go to bed now. We're going to let everybody else go to bed now as well. Sincerely hope that you've enjoyed not just Term 1, but specifically Grand Final week for Term 1 on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and also YouTube. It's been a great deal of fun to bring it to you, and we up the ante next term with new championships and also some extra broadcasts as well. We hope that you'll come along for the ride and join us for what will be season 17 for this club, and the start of the 5th year, essentially, because the anniversary of where we started falls somewhere in that first couple of weeks of April. Thank you, COVID. But again, I've said it all the time. I've said it all the way through the last 4 years. This is still the single best thing for a lot of us that stemmed from the pandemic. Without the pandemic, would we be here? There's a chance that we wouldn't be, because the more things change, the more they stay the same. Everybody has to find something to do, and the powers that be, a brains trust that have put this together, can be very proud of the legacy that it will leave behind when we eventually pull up stuff somewhere many years down the line. For many, it's an escape from the tough nature of everyday life and the stresses of it. For others, it's just pure fun and enjoyment. For me, it's a nice opportunity to keep the vocal cords in check and keep match fit for things like the Sydney 300 coming up in 6 weeks' time, 7 weeks' time. So looking forward to that next term as well. And of course, even when we got back to normality, we made sure that we kept this part of our lives from COVID, and what do you call it? We made sure that we made room, made time to continue the commitment here on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. It's become part of our everyday lives. I don't know if we'd know what we'd do without it now. It's been around for that long. On behalf of the entire broadcast, commentary and production crew responsible for bringing you Term 1, Part 1 of Semester 1 if you like. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. We look forward to your company again on April 15. In the meantime, stay safe over the course of the long weekend ahead, especially if you're on the road, and have a safe and happy Easter from all of us here at the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. It's bye for now.